Scotland's a wild and lovely place.
But there's a change we must embrace.
Scotland's water's world class.
No doubt.
So, take a refillable bottle.
When you go out.
It's your water, your life.
Top up from the tap with Scottish Water.
Fresh, cool, clear.
And only available right here.
Group Championships. This is their younger age group category. Down. Our younger age group category. The 11 to 14-year-olds swim this afternoon, and they'll be up and coming in about 10 minutes. So for those of you who were with us this morning, Duncan McKinnell and Robert Taylor are the two doing the commentary this afternoon. So nice to have Duncan alongside me this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Robert. Once again, we were on this morning, so looking for a second dose here with our younger swimmers this afternoon. It's going to be good, I'm sure. There's the lineup for you. 200 backstroke. The 400 freestyle is a heat declared winner event, so no finals for the young girls in that one. Everyone else, it is heats and finals, apart from, of course, the 1500 freestyle at the end of the afternoon. Sprints today are 50 free, both boys and girls, and then 100 breaststroke for the boys and 200 butterfly for the girls.
Of course, the only thing missing from this afternoon is relays. We had those at the end of the session, if you were with us this morning. The 17 over and 14 6-year-old relays. Pretty exciting at the end. Good contest. Wander, Hearts and City Glasgow in that last relay. Lots of good things to look forward to this afternoon. As I said earlier on, Duncan, people joining us, it's the 11-14-year-olds, the younger age group. Two age groups, 11, 13 and 14-year-olds, the top 10 in each of the various events this afternoon qualify for finals. But as Duncan's mentioned, the 400 free, the top three will be presented with medals at some point during the afternoon session, and at the end of the session, when we have the 1500 free, we'll do the very same. Those boys will be presented with medals in the respective age groups.
Yes, so some athletes to look out for this afternoon. There's some doing busy program. Dean Fern of Aberdeen Dolphin is certainly one to watch out for in the 14-year-olds. He'll be up in the 200 backstroke, and then I think he's back again. Yes, he is in the 50 freestyle. Kiana Kurtzow's having an absolute storming meet so far for Warrender. She's got a couple of races as well. Phoebe Arbuckle, her Warrender teammate, already has won the 1500 freestyle. She'll be going in the 400 freestyle, and Coco Croxford might give her a good race. That should be fun. And of course we've got the 11 to 13-year-olds as well, so we're looking at some likes of Lucy Oliver of Darlington, Northumberland Durham County champion in the 50 freestyle, and she's, I think, swimming also in the 400 freestyle. Yes, she is also county champion in that one as well, so she's certainly going to be a strong contender, I think, for medals in the 11 to 13 age group. See the lineup there. The swimmers are not out yet for our 200 backstroke, but that's who we're going to be seeing first. Any other swimmers?
Yeah, well, obviously we've got Conor Aspinall from your neck of the woods from East Lothian taking part in the 50 free. See how he does. One of the winners in the 200 butterfly. It was Archie MacArthur from Inverclyde. He's also in that 50. So I'm interested to see how they perform in that one. Josh Elliott, of course, of Hearts in the 100 breast. He'll be wanting to get a hat-trick of victories, 50, and I think it was the 50. No, did he not?
He just missed on the 50, yeah, by a whisker. I was commentating with his coach, Phil Potter, on that one last night, and he said that Josh should be pleased because he's swam a storming time, but knowing that he didn't win, he wouldn't be pleased at all. He did win the 200 breaststroke though on Wednesday night, so he's got 1 gold and be looking for the second in the 100. But we've got the swimmers there lined up for you for our first event. So I think they're just announcing the cumulative team points before we get started. We're just about on time to start now. So it's going to be a line-up here. Fabio Farina of Warrender will go in lane 0. Benji Jeffries of South Ayrshire in 1. Oh, I've got the wrong names there, so apologies about that. I'll rewind that, yeah. And we'll start again. Nebi Singular of Highland that goes in 0. Cameron Beck of Inverclyde in 1. Adam Calder of Brock in 2. Elliot Stephen of Trojan in 3. Lewis Maxwell Pauls of Warrender in 4. Dean Binney of North Ayrshire in 5. Fergus Reid of Geary in 6. Ty Robinson of Lerwick in 7. Cole Murphy of City of Glasgow in 8. Lockie Bullow of Shetland in 9. I had that moving doors moment there with
yeah, we were almost reliving this morning again.
Yeah, apologies for that, everyone. So the swimmers waiting patiently while the final checks are made, but the referee looks to be coming to the poolside now. And oh, no, she's leaving again.
Maybe not. Because we were a mixture of ages. In the earlier heats, we'll probably have most of the younger age groups. We have a handful of 12-year-olds. We might have the odd 11-year-old, but the vast majority in that 11, 13 age group are 13-year-olds. It's a great experience for maybe a 12-year-old to come here to Snags, perform well, and they've got a taste, and they've got a second chance to do it in the same age group the following year, Duncan.
Yep, 3 of them in this first heat. Nebi in 0. Adam in 2 and Lockie in 9, all 12-year-olds, others all in the 13s, so all of them, as you said, in the same age group for the purposes of this meet. 2:49 to 2:53 the entry times. But away they go, we're up and running for the afternoon session. So out of the start, looks like Cameron Beck of Inverclyde is starting well in lane 1, and now starting to move through in lane 4 is the Warrender swimmer Lewis Maxwell Pauls. Beside him, Elliot Stephen of Trojan. So it looks like they're the top 3 on the bottom of your screen there. Cole Murphy and Lockie below. They're going nicely. As we come to the first of the 4 lengths. And it's Elliot Stephen by 900s, 37.43 from Lewis and Lockie. So Elliot in the white cap there, from Trojan in Whitburn, West Lothian.
Not had many swimmers from Trojan. I think that's maybe the first one we've mentioned from Trojan this week so far, Duncan.
Yes, I think it probably is. 4 swimmers, all pretty close, coming up to halfway, but it is still Elliot who is leading them through. 1:19.56. So you can see the intermediate splits there. If you've not been joining us previously, you can see that's the 42.13. That's the time Elliot did for his second 50. So it gives you a good guide of the relative speed of these swimmers at that point in the race, and whether they're catching or moving away from the swimmers around them.
And with a 200, you want to try and maintain something close to 42, 43 in the second, so in the third 50, Duncan.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some pretty good PBs here from this leading group anyway. There's a nice overhead shot of Elliot and Lewis turning there, but Fergus, in fact, in second place now, so he's looking good there in lane 6 in the blue cap, just behind Elliot. And he's certainly the one who is setting the pace now. You see, as we go past those middle flags, there's not very much between the 2 of them at all. Now, you were on hot form on your predictions this morning, Robert, so you're going to call this one?
Elliot's got this one in the bag.
Okay, you heard it here. And I don't think you're going to be wrong, although there's not too much in it. as they come into the finish, but it is Elliott who gets the win.
No, it's not. It's Fergus. Apparently,
Well,
the scoreboard says Ferguson.
Certainly looking at the coming in, it looked like Elliott, so I wonder whether they'll adjust that time, because certainly that's not the order I would have called it. They're just trying to thwart you and your predictions, Robert.
They are indeed, Duncan.
How dare they? So we'll see if that is confirmed. We'll get a confirmed result come up at some point, and I don't see any great consultation going on.
Unless the referee has a valid reason to believe that the order should be 3-6, they can check in the box. There is a backup, and if that shows it the other way, and they then check the manual times, then they may make an adjustment. But there's no reason to presume that there should be a change.
I guess there is their own eyesight, because they all try and take a finish, don't they? So they'll, if they saw it the other way around, they might query it and then say, right, well, what are the backups? Is there a discrepancy in the times? Particularly with these younger swimmers, maybe don't have a good contact on the pads as they finish, and then that can happen, that you get a slow time recorded. Well, let's see though, they are taking a while to call this.
Duncan, so it could be that, as you say, if you don't hit that pad hard enough, well, that has now been confirmed. Fergus Reid in lane 6, just sneaking that at the death from Elliott Stephen. So on to heat number 2. 0 Blake Hermond, Inverclyde. 1 Kyle Mossman, City of Glasgow. 2 Neil Various from Best. 3 Brodie Armstrong, East Lothian. 4 Callum McKenzie, Perth City. 5 Glenn Liveridge, South Aberdeenshire. 6 Adam Merrick, North Lanarkshire. 7 Jude Mowbray, City Glasgow. 8 Archie Lorimer from Clitheroe, and 9 Lachlan Haney from Dumfries. Nice start in lane 4, I think. Callum McKenzie from Perth City, also in 8 Archie Lorimer from Clitheroe. 5 or 6 almost in a line at this early stage. Also Jude Mowbray, City Glasgow, coming through in lane 7. Might just be Jude at the first 50. Nice camera shot of the boys there.
Yep, so Jude by 400s, 36.65 from Archie Lorimer, 36.69. So not too much between them. Jude Mowbray of City of Glasgow, 2:44.8 entry time, and Clitheroe's Archie Lorimer, 2:47.7.
Those two, just because of the pulled away a little bit, going well in lane 1 though. Kyle Mossman, another City of Glasgow swimmer, vying for 3rd place alongside Glenn Liveridge and Merrick. 1:16.
You see there the intermediate splits. Archie 3/10 faster than Jude, and that's just giving him the edge at the moment. But certainly I think there could be some competition come through from the lanes further over. Callum McKenzie in 4, and lane 1 Kyle Mossman of City of Glasgow. And also coming up now in lane 6 is Adam Merrick of North Lanarkshire.
Slightly faster arm action, just getting him into the mix here.
So plenty of swimmers now contending as they turn for home. 1:59.58. Again, you look at those splits. Look at Adam Merrick there, 41.5 compared with the others. Can he keep that going down this last length?
Callum McKenzie though, even in 4th place, if we can find something special, but it looks as though it's Archie Lorimer just digging in there. It's Clitheroe swimmer who's going to take this, Duncan.
Yeah, he has shown nice pace in this final 50 to absolutely make sure of it, you would think, although it's still pretty tight. And we had an upset in the first heat, and this time it goes the way we saw it. 2:38.67 Archie. Adam Merrick 2nd with a very fast finish. 2:39.05. Jude Mowbray in third, 2:40.22. That was a good race.
It was indeed. Carl Mackenzie left himself just a wee bit too much, having to settle for fourth there. We move on to our third heat. Just wait for that to be confirmed. There we have it. Archie, Adam and Jude. We have N0, Blake Herman, Inverclyde, 1. In fact, they've swam that one. Heat 3, 0 is Ryan Calder from the Brock, 1. Tyler Coots, Shetland, 2. Ify Uapulu from South Ayrshire, 3. Kyle Connolly, City of Glasgow, 4. Luke McCall, Warner Bass, 5. Finlay Gudici, Renfrew Bass, 6. Finch Geary, Step Rock, 7. Dexter Suter from Lerwick, 8. Noah Lucatelli from Warner Bass, and 9. Alex Wright, South Aberdeenshire. In the low 240s this one, Duncan, 241 to 243. So a few obviously look to try and get under 240. Mostly 14-year-olds in this one now. 13-year-olds in 1, 3 and 7. Good start in lane 9. Alex Wright from South Ayrshire.
Yeah,
Aberdeenshire rather.
Not sure what happened to Finlay Guducci there. Obviously something's happened. There's slip off the ledges, I think, but he was left at the start really, and he's got an awful lot of catching up to do as a result of that. Hopefully he can have a go at doing that. Meanwhile, it is Alex Wright, 36.51, just a touch faster than the previous heat, and half a second up on Ify Uapulu. Hope we've got that pronunciation right. Let us know if we haven't. South Ayrshire 14-year-old. Also going well. Tyler Coots in 1 and Noah Lucatelli in lane 8. So a strong start from lane 9, Alex Wright, South Aberdeenshire. But it's going to be lane 1, I think. Tyler Coots now, the Shetlander, turning first, 1:17.23. The pace has just dropped slightly behind the previous heat. Tyler Coots, winner in the North District Spring Meet, 4th in North District age groups. As the Shetlanders have lots of travelling to do, even just to go to their local district meet. They have to get on a plane or a ferry.
Certainly going well over on the far side. But, 3 boys together. Alex Wright in 9, Noah Lucatelli coming through strongly between them, and Dexter Suter, another swimmer from Islands in Lerwick. And it might be Lerwick swimmer. In fact, Shetland, Tyler Coots, Dexter Suter in 3rd. Kyle Connolly, sub 40 seconds, is flying out of lane 3, Duncan, and is a serious threat to take this one.
Yes, he is. Dexter Suter is in the mix as well in lane 7, so this is going to be a close one, I think. Dexter looking good.
Certainly does.
Noah Lucatelli trying to get into the mix in lane 8, still very much up there. And it's Kyle Connolly in lane 3. Coming into the final stages, it's going to be the Shetlander, the Lerwick swimmer, Dexter Suter, taking the win in 2:37.67, exactly a second faster than the previous heat, and a nice swim from Dexter, entered on 2:43, time he did winning North District age group, so good progress just 3 weeks on from that.
First 2 home, in fact the first 3 home, first 2 home rather, both 13, and Tyler Coots, the other 13-year-old, in 4th place, so good swims from them.
Yep, nice PBs. On to heat number 4. Ewan Watson of Renfrew Baths in 0. Jake Ferguson of 1st in 1. Tom Jeffords of Ren 96 in 2. Jensen Norris of Perth City in 3. Connor Aspinall of East Lothian in 4. Finlay Geddes of Lerwick in 5. Ewan Stevenson of 1st in 6. Ethan Collins of North Lanarkshire in 7. Aaron Drake of Warrender in 8, and Rory Duncan of South Ayrshire in lane 9.
It's the first of the 3 cyclic seeded heats.
So Conor Aspinall, one of 3 13-year-olds, has the fastest entry time here. The other 13-year-olds, Ethan Collins in 7, Aaron Drake in lane 8. But probably the best start, Jensen Norris of Perth in lane 3. Conor in the black cap in 4. Part of a very successful East Lothian team this week. Beside him, Finlay Geddes, another from Lerwick, and he produced a back-to-back pair of Lerwick wins. I wonder, he's certainly in the mix for it.
33.23 for Jensen at the first 50 rather. Actually a good 3 and a bit seconds faster than we've seen so far, with the 3 fastest heats to conclude. Still advantage with Jensen. Between them, Finlay Geddes in 5, and still Conor Aspinall. We fancy just biding his time. The youngster, the 13-year-old, the rest all 14, other than Ethan Collins and Aaron Drake in 7 and 8.
So as you would expect in the cycle seeded heats, this is much faster than we've seen, about 6.5 seconds. Jensen Norris leading by a second from Finlay Geddes. Conor Aspinall in 3rd. Of course, they will go top 10 in each of the age groups into tonight's finals. So in a way, Conor Aspinall doesn't really need to work to try and go with the 14-year-olds. He's comfortable in the knowledge that he's leading his fellow 13-year-olds in this heat. But at the front, it's pretty tight between the two 14-year-olds. Finlay Geddes now just getting into touch by 1400ths from Jensen Norris. 36.8 split from Finlay there.
Yeah. You get the feeling Conor Aspinall down that last 50 was just taking it very steady, very slower arm pull, but he's getting to work a little bit down the final stretch just to maybe get a certainty of being in the middle lane. But Jensen Norris just picks the pace up again.
Yeah, it looks like Jensen is just going to edge this one. Well, more than edge it, in fact, he's about a body length up, bringing it in 2:24.20. Entry time 2:29.75, so another very nice improvement.
Finlay Geddes about a second or so faster than his entry time. Conor Aspinall well off his entry time, but even 4 or 5 seconds slower. Oh, pretty certain give him a certain middle lane for this evening.
Well, we do have a few more 13-year-olds to come, so I don't think he can be guaranteed of that just yet, but we'll wait and see how it works out. Daniel Hendry in particular might be a threat in the final heat. But here's the lineup for heat number 5. Max Miller, Western Bartonshire in 0. Cameron Hastings, Aberdeen Performance in 1. Daniel Hay of West Lothian in 2. James Geddes of Aberdeen Dolphin in 3. Ewan Weir of Dundee City Aquatics in 4. Adam Prusik of Aberdeen Dolphin in 5. Ishmael Shalabi of Warrender in 6. Fraser Cowie of North Ayrshire in 7. Fraser Gemmell of First in 8. And Caleb Geddes of North Lanarkshire in lane 9.
Ewan Weir, 2:24.30, the fastest in this one in the pink cap, but the strongest start on Adam Prusik from Aberdeen Dolphins. And they're having a good meet, Duncan.
Yes,
They're thereabouts in the top 10, just outside the top 10 after day 2.
Yeah, they show a great range of swimmers, Aberdeen Dolphin, because they very nearly won the Scottish Masters Championship last week, so showing they can do it at all ages. But Ewan Weir just with the edge by 400s, 34.50 for the 50. It does look like one of the two in the centre lane. Trying to go with them in 7 is Fraser Cowie of North Ayrshire, and he's doing pretty nicely here. Fraser right up there with them. Then lane 3, James Geddes, not too far back. Also the Warrender swimmer Ishmael Shalabi. So that's your top 5. Through the turn, Ewan Weir, 1:12.51, already been gold medalist in these championships, up by 9/10 now.
Leading 13-year-old Max Miller turning around the 116 mark, so double that, and you're a little bit over 230. So at the moment, Conor Aspinall still would be good enough to be in the centre lane this evening in that younger age group. Down to the final turn.
So Ewan Weir putting in his bid to be in the centre lane in the 14 age group final. Turns 1:50.09. That's not as fast as the 150 split from Jensen Norris in the previous heat, so he really needs to pick it up. But certainly doesn't need to worry about a place in the final. Just the question is which lane will he have. Good dolphin contest going on behind him. James Geddes in 3 and Adam Prusik in 5, well matched. I think it will be James is going to come in ahead on that one maybe. But it's Ewan Weir taking the win in 2:27.04. So at the moment I think that puts him third fastest in the 14s. 2:30.09 for James, 2:31.49 for Adam. One more heat to go.
That now confirmed results as we move on to our 6th heat. In lane 0, Stephen Laws from Cooperton District. 1, Adam Bruce from Aberdeen. 2, Archie McDonald from Putteridge. 3, Oscar Chirnside from Geary. 4, Dean Fern, Aberdeen Dolphins. 5, Daniel Henry, City Glasgow. 6, Max Turnbull from Midlothian. 7, James Kilpatrick from Carnegie. 8, Sam Coole, Step Rock. And in 9, Jed Armitage from Highland. Daniel Henry and James Kilpatrick in 5 and 7, the remaining 13-year-olds. Daniel Henry 2:26, so needs to go just a little bit faster to be in lane 4. But you'd kind of fancy him being maybe in lane 5. But good start again from Aberdeen Dolphins, Dean Fern. 2:17.40 Duncan, so this should be the fastest qualifier on paper here.
Yeah, Dean having a very successful time of it. This is the first of 2 races he's got this afternoon. North District Age Group Champion. And probably the dominant 14-year-old at these championships. Obviously not doing every event. You can't do that, you explode. But doing a good number and dominating most of them. Daniel Henry, the 13-year-old, currently in about 4th place behind the green cap of Midlothian's Max Turnbull and the yellow cap of Geary's Oscar Chirnside. Dean in complete control. So far the fastest halfway split 1:10.55. I think this is going to be faster. It is indeed 1:09.52, so about a second faster than an excellent swim from Jensen Norris. Max Turnbull turning 2nd, Oscar Chirnside 3rd.
James Kilpatrick's had a good second 50, just smitten ahead of Daniel Henry. Those 2 13-year-olds neck and neck. This is all about the time for Dean Fern, this one.
Completely dominating this heat. So again, just comparing the splits, 1:48.4 for Jensen Norris, so now 3 seconds faster than that, 1:45.51. Pretty much a 36-second split there, so if you can do the maths, we're talking about 2:20-ish. So it's not quite, I think, going to match the 2:17.40. That might be a converted short course time. I don't know, because they did have the opportunity to swim long course in Aberdeen a few weeks ago in North District age groups. Let's see what the time comes in as. It's going to be, as I said, around that 2:20 mark. Just inside it, 2:19.66. Nicely done.
Close for 2nd and 3rd here, Duncan. Midlothian, so I think just going to shade it, Max Turnbull over Oscar Chirnside, with James Kilpatrick finishing nicely. In fact, he's snuck into 3rd place. Although he's in the 13-year-old category, Dean, Oscar and Max in the 14-year-old, and Daniel Henry a little bit further down. Oscar Patrick takes a couple of seconds off his entry time. Daniel Henry adding a little bit on, but I'm sure both boys will be comfortable getting into that younger age group final.
Yeah, I think that time from James Kilpatrick will put him into lane 5 in that 13-year-old final behind Connor Aspinall from a couple of heats ago. Still just waiting for confirmation of that last result. So once again, here it comes.
Here we are.
What a big win there. 13 seconds Dean Fern won that one by. Must be one of the biggest wins that we've had so far this week. And there is the summary. So he's got 4.5 seconds over what was a very good swim from Jensen Norris. Second place. And you can see there a reminder that if you want to see the time split by age group so you know who's progressing through to finals, if you look at Meet Mobile, available on both Apple and Android devices, or alternatively go on to www.swimscotland.org.uk, and that will give you all the information you need. So if you have one device with that on and another device watching what's going on, that's the perfect way to do this. So what's coming up next, Robert?
This is 4 heats of, well, it's 4, they are heats, but they're actually heat declared winners for the girls 400 freestyle. So top 3 will get medals in these next 20 minutes or so. Our first heat full of 13-year-olds. 1, Beth Kelly, Wonder Baths. 2, Ella Whitten from East Lothian. 3, Katie Cooper, Wonder Baths. 4, Eva Smith, Aberdeen Performance. 5, Lisa McNair from First. 6, Ella Petrie from Monifeef. And 7, Lucy Hall, East Lothian Swim Team. Times in this one, 5:17 to 5:22. So let's see if some of these girls can get somewhere around about the 5:10 mark or better. Nice start over in lane 2, Ella Whitten from East Lothian, Duncan.
Yes, she's been on the podiums. I think a silver medal from memory yesterday. Can't remember what the event was, to be honest. Lucy Hall, our East Lothian teammate at the other side of the pool, is also going pretty well. And others as well. Lane 4, Eva Smith, she's had a successful time as well.
Well, I wonder if it's something in the genes that you've got to turn in 7th place and walk your way through and win it. Lisa McNair will be getting lessons from her big sister Susie, who's had a very good meet in the older age category. We'll see how if Lucy can pull that back a little bit in the second half of the race. At the moment, going very nicely in lane 4. Eva Smith from Aberdeen Performance, she now takes it up. Of course, down the stretch we'll get an idea of splits, 38.65. So she's picked up the pace quite significantly.
Yes, she's going nicely there in lane 4. Certainly, as I said, having an excellent meet. She was silver medalist in North District age groups recently. Lucy Hall is sticking with that. She took 6th place in East District age groups. That was held back in January, short course in Glenrothes. So it seems they come up to the 200. There's not very much between them. In fact, nothing really at all as they turn. Lucy just getting a touch by 700s this time, 232.71 against 232.78. And then 2.5 seconds back is Katie Cooper of Warrender, the best of the rest in lane 3. Does look like, though, Eva Smith is picking it up now as they go down towards the 250. So let's see whether Lucy can respond. A couple of lanes between them, so they'll have a bit of a view of each other, I would think, but not completely unobstructed. Of course, depends how they're breathing as well. 3:11.3 and now 3:12.44, so a second now separating them.
On for something in the low 5 teens here.
Lucy is sticking to the task here. She's not letting Eva away. If anything, she's coming back down the length towards the 300.
Katie Cooper still in third place. The other three swimmers trying to get back in terms.
This one going back and forth a bit, isn't it? So Lucy back into the lead. She was a second back at the last turn, and so coming storming back there, 39.0 against Eva's 40.5. And you wonder how this is going to work out here. There's a slightly inconsistent from both of them in terms of their pacing, but let's see who's going to have the pace at it when it really matters at the end.
Well done to the penultimate end. Eva Smith again just picks it up, Duncan, and I think she's gone ahead. Lisa McNair maybe got her going from 7th to 3rd, long way back now. But, it's Eva Smith by just over half a second, 38.22. Lucy Hall, can she respond?
Well, she did when she was going in this direction last time. She's going to have to try and do it again here. Let's see if she can. Third place, I think, now is Lisa McNair after that really slow start from her, but she's steadily moved through, but she's not going to catch this leading pair, and it's a race to the wall here. This is going to be on the touch. I think Eva's just got enough to take it. 5:08.01 against Lucy's 5:08.19, both of them well inside their entry times, so nice racing, girls.
She really had to dig in there, Duncan. Arm action was that much faster than Lucy. Really got to work in the last 10-15 metres, otherwise Lucy would have just taken that.
Well, I think both of them can be very proud of their efforts there, and we'll get the applause of their team when they go back. Confirmation of the result. Third place Lisa McNair, 5:12.33, about a second ahead of Katie Cooper.
A lot of PBs there, so good to get that underway in the first heat as we move on to our second heat in 0, Abby Coventry. We're talking about not having many 11-year-olds. She's been performing extremely well, Duncan, Tynemouth swimmer. 1 Lucy Fleming, East Lothian. 2 Gina Wren, City Glasgow. 3 Riley McIntosh, Dundee City Aquatics. 4 Alice Perry, Warner Baths. 5 Emma Silcock, First. 6 Ellie Wilson, Steplock. 7 Kirsty Seavright, East Lothian. 8 Emma Binney, North Ayrshire. And 9 Leona Bedborough from Incas.
So a cracking start in lane 3 from Dundee's Riley McIntosh. She was off like a scalded cat, as they say. Midland clubs went up to the North District Age Group Championships, and Riley won that. And that's where she did her entry time at 5:13.38. About 2 or 3 meters up on one of the 2 14-year-olds in this heat. The 2 of them, Alice Perry and Emma Silcock, in the centre lanes, and it's Alice Perry who is closest to making the challenge on Riley.
Nice strong start by Riley. Let's see how she can maintain this. Add a little bit extra into that lead, 108.62. Alice Perry from Warder Baths. She's well clear of the rest at the moment. I'm kind of getting strung out, even at this early stage. We've only gone about 130 metres.
Yeah, it looks like possibly the Warrender girl is starting to come back to Riley McIntosh now. Let's see what the gap is and their relative pacings for that third 50. So Riley 147.44 on a 38.8. Alice on a 148.45 on a 38.1. So definitely picked up over half a second there. think she's continuing to close the gap down towards halfway. Third place in lane 5 is the other 14-year-old first swimmer, Emma Silcock. She leads fourth place, Ellie Wilson of Steprock. But now it's the pink cap of Dundee and the red cap of Warrender just about side by side at the halfway point. Through the turn, Riley just with the edge, 2:28.38, around 4 seconds faster than the previous heat. Interestingly, they were 5 seconds faster than it did at the 100, so the pace has dropped a bit relative to, certainly for Riley, probably not for Alice, who has now moved through to the lead and probably has a more measured pacing, as perhaps befits the swimmer who's a year older, a year more experienced. Well, having said that, of course, having lost so much time to experience, the 14-year-olds and 13-year-olds, obviously the 14-year-olds stronger, but they probably haven't had that too much more experience.
They won't have Duncan, no. Emma Silcock has had another very strong 50 coming through in the second half of the race. And she's a serious threat to Alice Perry here. So the two 14-year-olds look as though they have the race between them now as Riley McIntosh drops back. Alice still looks as though she's got a wee bit left in the tank.
And she's got a good body length advantage, in fact a bit more than that at the 300. And she goes through in 3:47.98, still around 3-4 seconds faster than the previous heat. 3:50.48 for Emma. And you see their 6:10 slur and an intermediate split. Riley McIntosh in third, and then possibly going to come back at her. And it's a contest of the 13-year-olds with Ellie Wilson making a move.
We fancy Ellie Wilson now to finish top 13-year-old in this one and set down a marker for the 4 13-year-olds that fall in the last 2 heats. But, this one looks pretty well in the bag now. Alice Perry, a very strong last 50, taking over a second out of Emma Silcock.
So 4:25.83, so we're talking somewhere around that 5-minute mark. I wonder if she could duck under that, that would be excellent. Enter the 5:09. She's going to be close, 15 meters to go as the clock goes in 4:50, probably just into the 5 minutes, I think, but it's going to be an improvement on her entry time by a reasonable margin and a convincing win in this heat. So 5:03.09, so 6 seconds inside her entry time. Emma Silcock 5:07.41, she improves by about 3.5 seconds, and it was Ellie Wilson taking third, and Leonie Bebra also and Emma Binney all going past Riley McIntosh. So Riley, I think, just paying for that maybe overexcited start. But, well, put that in the bank for learning. But 5:03.09 then, Alice Perry sets the time for the 14-year-olds. Ellie Wilson 5:10.91. That's not as fast as Eva Smith. So Eva Smith's time 5:08.1, still the fastest 13-year-old.
On to heat 3. Heather Killick, Dumfriesson 0-1. Alyssa Mennick, City Glasgow 2. Ellen Denny Geary 3. Emmy Eakin, Aberdeen Performance 4. Pennyworth, Portsmouth North Sea 5. Kristen Mackay, Warner Baths 6. Alice Cumming, City Glasgow 6. Jessica Goodwood, Aberdeen Performance 8. Katie Nolan, Warner Baths, and 9. Emma Duke, Aberdeen Performance. 13-year-olds in 3, 7 and 8. Middle lanes, Pennyworth, Kristen Mackay. Just the Wander swimmer perhaps just shades it at this early stage.
Yes, she does, but only by 300. 32.36 against 32.39 for Penny. 32.50 for the leading 13-year-old Emmy Aitken. Aberdeen Performance, another one who's been successful this week. So Warrender leading the way. Kristen Mackay Kristen 4th in East District age groups. And she will have the lead at the 100 by maybe nearly a metre, maybe not quite. 1:09.31. Kate Nolan with a good 36.5 on that split. So 1:09.31 is not quite as fast as we saw in the previous heat, because we saw Riley going out so fast and then regretting it in that last heat, so maybe we shouldn't read too much in that.
This looks a bit more controlled, Duncan. Being that little bit older, 14, you've had a little bit more practice, and certainly Warner Braths will be able to practice this to the fore in the 50-metre pool from time to time. They'll do, I know they do a lot of 25s as well, but hopefully they're in good stead. Not much change in that order. All pacing much the same pace at the moment.
Yeah, Kate Nolan is one to watch down in lane 8. Another Warrender swimmer, and still up there in 3 is Emmy Aitken. The Glasgow swimmer as well. Alice Cumming in lane 6. Penny Worthy of Portsmouth just dropping back a little bit, but she's still in that group of 5. Into the second half, 2:25.35.
Very fast 50. Kate Nolan takes it up 37.36, takes the best part of the second half off the leader, and has now gone into the lead. And responding, Kristen Mackay rather, her teammate, got a wee look over and said, right, okay, up for this challenge. Alice Mackey, not out of it either. Very close for third. Aiken and Alice almost together. Half a second between Kristen Mackay and Kate Nolan.
So it's looking like a Warrender and Warrender race. Kate, the 13-year-old, so she's going really nicely here. Looking like she'll set the standard for the final heat. There's just the one more 13-year-old to come. That's Lucy Oliver of Darlington, will come in the next heat. So Kate will be looking to give her something to think about. Coming up to 300, she has the lead by, half a metre or so against her teammate, 3:41.26. And that's quite a bit faster now, 6 seconds faster than the previous heat. Kristen, 3:42.20. Alice Cumming, 3:43.92 in third place, just ahead of Emmy Aitken, the second of the 13-year-olds.
Well, 4:55 perhaps could be on here, Duncan.
Yes, I don't see why not.
Kristen Mackay and Kate Nolan almost together again. So I think Kristen just in no more. Oh, we didn't get a touch over on the far side.
Yeah, a bit of a replica of the first heat, where it went back and forth with somebody in the outside lane and somebody in the middle lanes, and that's what we're seeing with these two Warrender girls. Maybe the older swimmer Kristen Mackay has perhaps just got the edge here, but
it certainly looks that way now. Inside the final 15, it's going to be Kristen, I'm sure, Duncan, just ahead of Katie. And Alice Cumming in third place.
Yeah, so well, Kristen does edge it, 4:56.34. And 6/10 in it in the end. So good swims from both girls, both going comfortably under the 5 minutes. Alice Cumming also ducking under 5 minutes. So that's a nice milestone achieved. Emmy Aitken just over 5:00.93, but nicely inside her 5:04 entry. Penny Worthy in 5th place, 5:01.58, just outside her time.
Well, Kate Nolan will be guaranteed a silver at least, and Emmy Aitken will also be guaranteed a bronze at least in the younger age category. As Duncan has mentioned earlier on, we have Lucy Oliver, who's had some tracking swims already from Darlington. She's the only 13-year-old in our final heat. Final heat has in lane 0 Gary Preacher from Lerwick. 1 Mirren Gibb, Stranraer Stingrays. 2 Sophie Allison, Western Bartonshire. 3 Lucy Oliver from Darlington. 4 Phoebe Arbuckle, Warner Baths. 5 Coco Croxford, City of Glasgow. 6 is Freya Beaton, also City of Glasgow. 7 Madison Cool from Bucky. 8 Leila Weatherspoon, Heart and Midlothian. And 9 Addison Cole, South Lanarkshire. Phoebe Arbuckle, I think she was the clear winner of the 1500 on day 1. Just the one heat of that, consisting solely of 14-year-olds, and she was, I think, about the best part of a minute clear of everyone else, so very dominant.
She's got a 5-second margin on paper on Coco Croxford. You see Oliver with an entry time 4:49, so if she can swim to that, she's guaranteed the gold in the 13 age group. She's got to do it, of course. So they line up and get set to go.
All off to a good start there, and then lane 5 Coco Croxford furthest off the wall there before she's hit the surface. Those two middle lanes almost together. Phoebe Arbuckle now just forging slightly ahead. On the other side of her is Lucy Oliver from Darlington, also off quite nicely, and Freya Beaton in lane 6.
So Phoebe Arbuckle has nearly half a second in hand at the first turn. Second in East District age groups behind Kiana Kurtzer, who's sitting this one out. As we said earlier, you can't swim everything. And Phoebe very much the distance specialist, member of the Scottish junior team. But Coco Croxford is working well behind her. And, well, is she behind her? She's just about behind her, I think, although not too much in it. Also going well in lane 3, that is the Darlington swimmer Lucy Oliver. So she goes through in 1:07.99, which is faster than any of the 13-year-olds to date. But behind Phoebe Arbuckle, the 14-year-old, and Coco Croxford, the 14-year-old. Third 14-year-old at the moment is the second City of Glasgow swimmer Freya Beaton in lane 6. And she's got about a body length advantage over Madison Cool of Bucky in lane 7, and lane 2 Sophie Allison of Western Bartonshire through the 150. And Phoebe's lead just gradually building up to about 1.3 now, and you probably would expect that to continue, just grinding it out, just gradually moving away from Coco. But Coco obviously will want to stay as close as she can to Phoebe and maybe just try and spring a surprise on her down the final stretch if she's close enough to her. That's a big ask for her. We'll see what their respective splits are at the halfway mark. So 2:18.81, a 36.39 against a 37.07 for Coco. So again, another 7/10 put onto the lead there for Phoebe.
The other key thing, Freya Beaton in third place in that 14-year-old category was also half a second slower on that last 50 on her teammate Coco Croxford. So she's a lot to make up to try and challenge for even a second. Lucy Oliver still going pretty well over in lane 3, her 13-year-old.
So pretty much an action replay of the previous 50, isn't it? It was 7/10 difference, both in the 35s. The difference there, I guess, is Freya Beaton was pretty much matched Coco Croxford's split there, and so if she is holding that gap at the moment, then maybe she's got a chance to try and work it down in the final 100. Let's see whether she could do that. It looks like she might be bringing it back.
She certainly closed it a little bit, Duncan, but she's still got a good body length or more to make up. Well, she is virtually the same split. It's 2 and a bit seconds.
So certainly that's looking like the 1, 2, 3 for the 14-year-olds, just out of shot. Just could see the front arms there, Lucy Oliver. Maybe she'll come into shot shortly. Again, just occasionally seeing her arms. So we'll get a look.
That's the arms just appearing with the cap. As it disappears again, it will appear in just a second. Here we are.
So we'll get a feel for her penultimate split here.
Beaton really has got to find 2 seconds down the final stretch. The Oxford well cleared, Duncan.
So I think we're looking at something like 5:05 maybe for Lucy Oliver, maybe a bit faster than that if she can put a sprint on. So she is looking good for gold in the 11 to 13, but we're seeing the gold medalist in the 14s coming to the finish in a time of 4:41.62, just a couple of seconds away from her entry time. Second, Coco Croxford. Third, Freya Beaton. Here comes Lucy Oliver, so let's check out her time. 4:54.11, so that is good, comfortably good enough for the gold there. So well done to Phoebe and Lily, our 2 gold medalists from that 400 freestyle. There, I am told, we're going to be going straight into the presentations for this. So they're going to have to rush out the pool, get themselves dried off, and get their tops on, and we'll see them in a moment at the podium. But confirmation there of that final swim, and also the full lineup through the different swimmers.
A pretty competitive race, but Phoebe Arbuckle just picking it up as we thought throughout, and just gaining another second, pulling away very much as the entry times would have suggested.
So we've probably got a little bit of a hiatus while we wait for this presentation, and just a chance perhaps to reflect on that. I think probably the thing that struck me there was the number of improvements on times, and particularly with a lot of them will be conversions from short course to long course. So I guess you'd expect these younger swimmers to be constantly improving their times, but they're getting the job done.
Yes, yeah. And the key thing is they're getting the experience again of competing in either national or regional events, which they've been lacking. It's always good. This, I think, is the first major national event that these youngsters have swam in for a long, long time, because your own region, you'll swim against the people, and you'll sort of know what they're up to, and you maybe don't do enough to get a substantial improved time. You do enough to win, whereas it's a little bit different here. You're not necessarily top dog all of a sudden.
Yes, that's definitely true, because they'll know intimately the swimmers in their district that they're swimming up against time and time again. But then suddenly when somebody's coming down from the north, swimming at someone from the west and from the east and from the Midlands, and there's just that element of uncertainty. Okay, my time on paper might be faster, or might not be faster, but I feel, well, I could probably take that person. I'm only 2 seconds behind them. Yes. Maybe I could just get that. So, yeah, a whole new dimension, and it's great to have it back, because while we had the Festival of Swimming last summer, which was great, it was held in 3 venues, and while we combined the results, not quite the same as swimming in the same pool at the same time, head to head.
And you could say that one pool, someone will always turn around and say one pool's much faster than the other one.
No, it's not. So we've got the swimmers coming up for medal presentations now. So these are our 400 freestyles. Alan Fletcher making his way, former SASA president. He'll be making the medal presentations for us. The bronze medalists in the 11 to 13 age group, Emmy Aitken of Aberdeen Performance. And in the 14-year-old age group from City of Glasgow, Freya Beaton. to the silver medalists. Our 11 to 13-year-old silver medalist from Warrender, Kate Nolan. And in the 14-year-old age group from City of Glasgow, it's Coca Croxford. And on to our national age group champions. In the 11 to 13 age group from Darlington, it's Lucy Oliver. Lucy is a Scot, so great to have her come up north to compete in these championships. And the 14-year-old national age group champion, second after her 1500 triumph from Warrender, Phoebe Arbuckle. So good performance from those 6 girls. Photo time. All these photos will be available on the, I think, on the Scottish Swimming Instagram site. So keep an eye out for that. If one of your favorite swimmers is included in the shots. So from 400 freestyle, we go to 50 freestyle. We saw some electric 50 freestyle swimming this morning, so it's obviously not going to be as fast.
It won't.
With the younger.
One of the problems we have here is they've switched the start from the bottom end up to the top end where we commentate from, so the finish that we would normally be able to call pretty accurately, Duncan, becomes even more of a lottery. It's a splash and dash, and it's very difficult to get the 1, 2, 3 in a 50 at the best of times, but we'll do our best.
It's called getting your excuses in early here.
Yeah.
I'll join you in that then. So the lineup in this first heat: Arla Ritchie, Scott Brodie, Lachlan Hannay, Elliot Stephen, Lockie Billow, George Wisniewski, Oliver King and Ewan Nielsen. Times 31 to low 32s. Pushing on well in lane 1, Arla Ritchie of South Aberdeenshire. But there's others pretty close. Lane 4 in particular is Elliot Stephen. We were talking about him earlier. Lane 7 as well, Oliver King. Let's see who's going to get the touch. I think it's going to be Oliver. And it is 30-41. Elliot second, George Spignefsky in third.
Good race to get us underway there.
So Oliver's 30-41 compares with his entry time of 32:10. So that's a very nice improvement.
Most of these boys well under their entry time.
Let's see if that result is confirmed. I'm not seeing it come up yet. The only thing you can do wrong is go off too early, or maybe just too much hesitation on wandering around on the blocks. But hopefully we've not got any of that. There's maybe just a query about a time, perhaps.
Yeah, with very, very few disqualifications this morning, Duncan. It's quite refreshing. We've had a few, but at this level, most of the swimmers should be aware of all the things that they should and shouldn't do.
Yeah, definitely. It's really just if you make a mistake, I think sometimes probably, and do something under the pressure of the moment. But we are still just having to wait. Oh, here we go. So no problems. It is King, Stephen and Spignefsky, the 1, 2, 3.
So heat 2, Cameron Jolly, Cameron Miller, Adam Merrick, Adam Calder, Fergus Reid, Drury Bryson, Cole Murphy, Harry Cook, Oliver Hudzik, and is Finlay Bruce. 31s for this one. It's a very strong start in 5. Rudy Bryson, North Lanarkshire, almost a body length clear. And chasing him down, Cole Murphy in 6. In 7, Harry Cook, have an empty lane in 8. And also there in 4, Fergus Reid. It's going to be lanes 5, 6 and 7. Rudy Bryson, 30-46, Cole Murphy, 31-05, and Harry Cook, 31-14 in front of the disqualification. In that lane 6 for a technical infraction, which then promotes Harry Cook into second place once that's adjusted, if that's correct. Fergus Reid in lane 4, 31.21, who finished fourth, should be therefore promoted into third place. As we said, Duncan not had too many disqualifications. If that one is confirmed on a screen, the likelihood is that he just moved that a little bit before the starting signal. That's the most likely one.
Do we call that commentator's curse there?
Well,
sorry, Cole. we'll take the rap on that one.
It's not my. Well, did I say anything about it? Or was you, Duncan? I think we'll share the blame.
So is confirmation of it, and Cole Murphy unfortunately is disqualified. Line up for Heat 3. Cammy McMillan, Aaron Drake, Alfred Storer, Lewis Lothian, Cameron Beck, Kyle Mossman, Dexter Suter, Fraser Muir, Glenn Liversedge, and Stepan Stastjuks. Fastest time here is 37, but that's very, very close across the range. But a decent start from Cameron Beck of Inverclyde in lane 4, who has the fastest time. Beside him in lane 3, East Lothian's Lewis Lothian. Might be Lewis who is edging it at the moment, going strongly in that black cap in lane 3. Trying to go with him, Cameron Beck, but it's going to be Lewis Lothian pretty comfortably here. This is an impressive performance from the East Lothian lad. 28.85, so a cracking time from Lewis there. 2 seconds inside his entry time.
And only 13, Duncan.
Yep, so that was good stuff from the East Lothian boy. And confirmation there, winning it by nearly a second from Cameron Beck and Aaron Drake in third.
Heat 4, Max Miller, Luke McCall, Keir Campbell, Kai Fern, Tony Bullock, Charlie Burns, Evie Singulia, Aidan Bruce, Fraser Gemmell, Daniel Henry. All in the low to mid 30s here. And a strong start in lane number 5, Charlie Burns. Also well there in 7, Aidan Bruce. Aidan Bruce, Charlie Burns. These two is shading it, and Tony Bullock coming through in 4. It's a tight one. Aidan Bruce, Charlie Burns, Tony Bullock. I think might be the 1, 2, 3 into the final stretch. Charlie Bullock will get second. Will get third. Tony Bullock just sneaking into second place. Aidan Bruce 28.57. Another fast heat in that one. 28.98 for Charlie Burns. Taking third. 28.85 Tony Bullock.
Yeah, it's another big improvement on his entry time for Aidan there, 30.4, and the others, look at that 3 on the 28s there. So you can all be very pleased with their efforts there, Toby and Charlie, along with Aidan. Moving on. Heat 5, we've got Timon Kopacz, Brody Armstrong, Ifeo Poglu, Hamish Maxwell, Lachlan Small, Finch Geary, Fraser van der Merlen, Aaron Machin, Aidan McCavish and Sky Kyle Bunchai. So times here just over the 30 seconds. Can we get down to the 28s like we've seen in the last 2 heats? Pushing on in lane 4 is Lachlan Small of Stirling. Beside him, Hamish Maxwell of South Ayrshire in lane 3. Going nicely over in lane 0, Timon Kopacz. Also lane 6 in the mix, that's Fraser van der Merlen, but it's going to be lane 4 in the end pretty comfortably. And another great swim, 28.2, that's the new fastest time. And that's Lachlan Small taking that. Another 13-year-old setting the standards there. Second place, I think, will be given to Hamish Maxwell, and third, Fraser van der Merlen. Unfortunately, I think we've got another disqualification here, and that is Aidan McCavish from lane 8. So unfortunately, he's out, but it's Small, Maxwell, and van der Merlen, the 1, 2, 3.
Callum McKenzie, Kyle Connolly, Archie Lorimer, Alex Taylor, Callum Ferguson, Archie McDonald, James Kilpatrick, James Geddes, Owen Beacon and Tyler Coots in lane in number 6. In fact, Very strong start in lane 4 from Callum Ferguson. Also going well in 3. Alex Taylor, Callum Ferguson in 3 and 4. James Kilpatrick maybe in 6 in 3rd place. It's Alex Taylor, Callum Ferguson, tight for 3rd in lane 7. In fact, it was just lane 6 ahead of lane 7. Alex Taylor, 28.03, 28.65. In 2nd place was Callum Ferguson, and by 100, 28.87, James Kilpatrick, just ahead of James Geddes, 28.88.
So do you think we can go in the 27 the next time round? That was very close there from Alex. Another good East Lothian big PB after Lewis Lothian's won. Alex Taylor doing the job. On to Heat 7, Max Turnbull, Stephen Laws, Daniel Frew, Ewan Stevenson, Archie MacArthur, Alex Wright, Alexander McGregor, Oscar Churnside, Alfie Price and Kyle Harper. After this time on paper, 28.97, Archie MacArthur. What can they do in the pool? We're looking for a 27 something. Can we get it? Lane 5 pushing on, Alex Wright to South Aberdeenshire. But there's plenty around him. Lane 2 in the mix, Daniel Frew of South Ayrshire, but this is much tighter. I think maybe it is Alex Wright in lane 5 who's got the advantage. Let's see as they come in. Yes, it is 28.11. So we're still flirting with that 27s, but not quite there. Archie MacArthur 28.4. Alfie Price, nice swim from the Orkney swimmer, taking 3rd in 28.64.
Not sure if that 28.40 by Archie is the fastest 13-year-old. We had 1 or 2 in that range as well. A good swim from Archie in 2nd. On to heat number 8. Dylan Mitchell, Finlay Geddes, Declan Kay, Ewan Stevenson. Sorry, Dylan Mitchell, Finlay Geddes, Declan Kay, Callum MacArthur, Paddy Neal, Cameron Hastings, Dean Bergatti, Ethan George, Sam Coole and Conor Aspinall. Now, well out there is lane 6, Dean Bergatti, South Lanarkshire. And now lane 4, Paddy Neal coming through strongly. Paddy Neal, Cameron Hastings, Dean Bergatti perhaps, Cameron Neal. Looks as though he's got this, Cameron Neal, Dean Bergatti, and in 3, Callum MacArthur. Well, we didn't get a 27, Duncan. We got a 26.
Well, why bother with the 27s?
Yeah, 26.35. But to be fair, that was the first of the 3 seeded heats.
Yeah, nice swim from the Yorkshireman, Paddy Neal, silver medalist in the Yorkshire County Championships, and winning that heat. I'm sure that will earn him a place in the 14-year-old final. 26.81 for Cameron Hastings. Heat 9, Eamon Charidi, Tom Jeffords, Kenzie McLean, Ross Anderson, Corey Phillip, Connor Christophorus, Alex Tinch, Ewan Watson, Lewis Hay and Fraser Cowie. So 8, 9, then of the 10. And pushing on very nicely is Corey Phillip, Dundee City Aquatics. He's got the clear advantage here over Connor Christophorus of Aberdeen Dolphin in lane 5. Maybe Connor is coming back at Corey, but it still looks like Corey just with the edge, pretty tight. 26.05 though is 3/10 faster than the previous heat. So that's the fastest so far in the 14s. All these swimmers 14 in that heat. 2nd place Connor Christophorus, 26.14, and 3rd place, quite a way back on them, Ross Anderson, 27.09. So quite a differentiation. We saw that in the previous heat as well. It's in top 2 and then the others. So there's definitely going to be a group of swimmers at the front of this in the 14-year-old final tonight, I think. All there in the low 26s so far. We'll see whether we can get into the 25s perhaps in this last heat.
I'll do my best, but it's down to the swimmers, Duncan. 0, Fraser Dow, Ishmael Shalaby, Harry Sharp, Aaron Prusick, Dean Fern, Jensen Norris, Lewis Gibson, Callum Stewart, Taylor Hutton, and Rhys Edwards.
Still waiting for confirmation on that last one.
We are actually, I think it's just come, there we are. Corey Phillips confirmed winning that last one. So we've squeezed an extra heat. We've just had 9 for the older ones this morning. We've got 10. Dean Fern is the fastest coming into this. Very good start in lane 4 from Dean Fern. Quickly into the stroke and dominating this by some margin now. It's a blanket finish possibly for second place. Lewis Gibson, Jensen Norris. No doubt about Dean Fern taking that. Second place is going to be Lewis Gibson, or is it? No. Lane 5 in fact, Jensen Norris and Lewis Gibson almost together, 26.58, 26.68, and we did get a 25.12. And it looked pretty comfortable. Dean Fern.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive, that one. So 25.12, it's hard to see past that. And tonight, 26.05, next fastest, and nearly a second in it. He has turned 14, the age group record 24.35. Do you think he could get anywhere near that tonight? That would be a big ask, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like much, but 0.7 or thereabouts in a 50. It's almost like trying to find 3 seconds in a 200.
So we'll look forward to that, though. I think he's going to be very fast. Just looking at all the qualifiers, I think we're going to see Callum Stewart of Highland as the fastest qualifier for the 13-year-olds from Lachlan Small, Archie MacArthur. The top 3 in the 14-year-olds, Dean Fern, Corey Phillip, Connor Christophorus. So let's go through the summary. We move now to
just 9 heats for the girls, not 10. First one. Della Page Watson, Emily Dawson, Lisa McNair, Christy Seavright, Chloe Semple, Casey Dixon. 32s in this one. Lane 3 perhaps, Emily Dawson in B. Very tight, Casey Dixon, South Lanarkshire in lane 7. That's Casey Dixon, Chloe Semple, Christy Seavright, 7.65. That's how it's going to finish. Casey Dixon, Chloe Semple, Christy Seavright. In fact, it was Tyler Page Watson over in 2 that finished that a little bit stronger, just to get 3rd place. Time in that one, 30.61. So a nice improvement by over a second and a half.
Indeed so. And a convincing victory by 6/10 from Chloe Semple. On to heat 2, we've got Rebecca March, Maya Learn, Anna Beetham, Emma Binney, Lucy Fleming, Lexi O'Brien, Kate Nolan, Molly Binning, Abby Coventry, and Isla Petrie. Times here 31.9, 31.8 actually to 32.2. Early marching a line as they settled into their stroke, but now just starting to differentiate a little bit. Lanes 5 and 6 looking good. Lexi O'Brien of Carnegie, Kate Nolan of Warrender. There's others in the mix as well, but I think it's these two. Lane 7, Molly Binning not too far away. I think it's going to be the Warrender swimmer taking it. It is Kate Nolan in 30.59. Again, an improvement of well over a second, and just 200ths faster than the previous heat. 13-year-old Kate Nolan. So 2nd place was Molly Binning, and 3rd place was Lexi O'Brien. wait for confirmation of that.
Disqualification in lane 2, Anna Beetham.
So on to heat number 3.
Daisy McInnes, Peyton Forbes, Brodie McCancher, Emily Easton, Evie Mackey, Emily Jackson, Emily Dougal, Lauren Ferret, Rose McDermott and Eva Smith. 31s, sort of mid-31s in this one. Again, pretty level, lane 2 perhaps. Brodie McCancher going well, coming through in 6. Emily McDougall from Highland Swim Team. It's Emily, I think, in 6, just shading it. Emily Jackson, Evie Mackey in 5 and 4. Also well there in 7, Lauren Ferret. And this is a tight one for second place. Emily McDougall in 5 and 7. 4 and 7 rather, Evie Mackey and Lauren Ferret for the minor places. Emily McDougall 30.08. Comfortably winning that, almost taking a second and a half of our entry time. Well done.
So we're getting close to 30 seconds now, so 29s please in this next one. See if we can do it. The entry time's all in the 31, so they need a big PB to do it, so I'm getting a bit optimistic. We'll see. Summer Langan goes in 0, Abigail Thomas, Imogen Lowe, Caitlin McCarthy, Eva Kay, Ella Thompson, Ava Marco, Caitlin Parnaby, Emma Silcock and Phoebe Sampson. Some 13s, some 14s, one 12-year-old, Ava Marco. Good start in lane 3 from Caitlin McCarthy of Western Bartonshire. Also lane 6, Ava Marco of East Lothian. But this is a pretty close one. Maybe Ava Marco just starting to edge it in lane 6. And you can see the view there. It's close. Lane 9. Ooh, for lane 9. Phoebe Sampson nailed it there. 30.24 for her. 1.1, 1.2 ahead of her entry time. And it was lane 8. Emma Silcock taking second. Didn't call that very well, did I? Ava Marco only third, 30.35. It was pretty close.
It was close, Duncan. Referee's eye, I think I got that one just. But it was tight, another tight one. Still waiting for the first sub-30. Joanna Calder, Madison Stewart, Pennyworth, Madison Christophers, Ellen Denny, Sophie Ellison, Ellie Kennedy, Chloe Kirk, Ailey Melrose, Ellie McNichol. High 30s to low 31s. Good start in lane number 5 and 6. Two girls, Sophie Ellison and Ellie Kennedy. And coming down the final stretch into the final 15. It's Ellie Kennedy, City Glasgow. Who's going to take this? Sophie Ellison perhaps in 2nd and Ailey Melrose in 8th. That's the finish order. Ellie Kennedy. In fact, all 3 girls sub-30. 29.05. Big improvement, well under the 30. Ellie Kennedy. Sophie Ellison, 29.83 and 29.95 for Ailey Melrose. Well, that was some swim, Duncan.
Certainly was. All 3 of those girls, in fact, getting under the 30, but Ellie Kennedy in particular.
Almost 2 seconds off that 31 dead.
So on to heat 6. Isla Wetton, Leonie Bebra, Rosie Heaps, Addison Cole, Alicia Lyon, Mirren Gibb, Kira Finlayson, Ailsa Clubb, Macy Carty and Gina Wren. So the entry times here 30.6 to 30.9.
You'll be greedy and you want a 28 now, Duncan.
We'll see. I think that is pushing it for this heat. Just maybe edging it in lane 2. Rosie Heaps of Foldhouse. Beside her in 3, Addison Cole of South Lanarkshire. Those two both going well. The orange cap is Mirren Gibb of Stranraer. She is in the hunt as well. So it's another close one, but it's going to be between lanes 2 and 3, and I think it's Rosie. She takes the touch, she does, 29.81. Addison Cole just behind her, 29.93. 3rd place was Ailsa Clubb, 30.41 from lane 7. So good PBs, 29.81.
Not coming from the obvious centre lanes as well, Duncan. All over the place.
There's so little really between the times, aren't there? Not so much now. We're into the top 3 cycle seeded heats though.
Lily Mundell, Emily Leslie, Alice Cumming, Anna Lawson, Leila Weatherspoon, Lucy Oliver, Natalie Langdon, Irene Ferris, Emma Miller, Harry Pritchard. And well away, Leila Weatherspoon, swimmer in 4. Looks as though she's maybe nailed this one. Irene Ferris, North Lanarkshire in 7, also within striking distance, as is Emma Miller from Kintyre in lane 8. It's a hard swimmer. North Lanarkshire and Kintyre. That's Leila Weatherspoon, Irene Ferris, Emma Miller. 28.51 for Leila. Just a little bit inside her entry time. Good swim from her. Irene Ferris in second place. 29.01 and 29.51 Emma Miller.
Heat 8, Ellie Wilson, Riley McIntosh, Sarah Kravis, Jessica Kirkwood, Ruby Dan, Phoebe Arbuckle, Molly Irvin Watson, Millie Colvin, Anna Lee and Isla Dixon. And, penultimate heat at 28.51, the time to beat. Ruby Dan of Tynemouth has a faster entry time than that. She goes in lane 4, she's certainly in the mix. Beside her in 5, Phoebe Arbuckle just off that 400 freestyle win. In lane 7, Millie Colvin of Stranraer. Maybe Millie has the edge, does she? Let's see as they come in. It's close between the two, Millie and Phoebe, but it is Millie who takes the win, 28.69. It's pretty tough, isn't it, for those who've just done the 400 now to come back and do the 50 so soon after. Phoebe getting the job done there. I'm sure that will be good enough to move through to the final where she won't have that same issue.
Millie Colvin also, I think, did the 400, so a nice warm-up for them. And disqualification in lane 9, Isla Dobson for a technical infraction. And final heat, N0, Caitlin Reid, Kirsty Breakin, Amber Littlejohn, Isla Gilmurray, Kiana Kurtzer, Madison Cool, Eve Wood, Melissa Menny, Ella Garrow and Madison Patterson. Kiana Kurtzer, I should call this as the winner, but you can't take anything for granted in this. She's off to a good start in lane 4. Also well there in 6. Eve Wood from Orkney. And over in 1, going very nicely, Kirsty Breakin, Aberdeen Dolphins. Kiana Kurtzer coming through Madison Cool from Bucky. Kiana Kurtzer not having it her own way. Kiana Kurtzer, lane 6 and 5, Eva Wood, Madison Cool. I think that's how it finished. 28.10, Kiana Kurtzer. Almost on her entry time. Eve Wood in second place from Orkney. 28.67 and 28.74, Madison Cool from Bucky. Good to see the swimmers from the North District performing pretty competently here.
And it's lovely to have an Orkney swimmer who I'm pretty sure will be in the final with that swims. Let's just see, in fact, third fastest there we saw. So haven't seen too much of those prior to lockdown, but I was talking earlier about everything that they were doing to build their coaching team during lockdown, and that's standing them in good stead now as we come out of it and hopefully into more normal times. So done with the 50 freestyles, and we move now to boys 100 breaststroke.
7 heats ahead of us, Duncan, and just 3 go in the very first heat. Don't know if we'll be lucky or unlucky to avoid a swim off in that 53. I did see a joint 24th, but they could be different age groups. They could end up being joint 6th or 7th.
Or not joint at all, because they were in different age groups. I could see a joint 20th, but I think we're okay in terms of swim offs. Nothing looking like it's there.
Excellent. First heat in one, Harris Woodward from Portobello, time of 1:34.10. 4 is Archie Redfern from Lerwick, 1:33.80. And 5, Scott Brodie from Inverclyde, 1:33.80 as well. Lad from Lerwick is 12, the other two boys turned 13 this year.
Harris Woodward has made good progress recently. Portobello swimmer made the final in the East District Age Group Championships at the Commonwealth Pool a few weeks ago. So he'll be looking to build here on his 1:34.10 entry time. Scott Brodie of Inverclyde is right up there with him. And then the Lerwick swimmer just a little bit back, Archie Redfern. Pretty close between the two. I think just the advantage with Harris, but not by much. Sometimes hard to see with the angle of the camera to the pool just who is leading, but when we look across you could see that it's just Harris, but not by much. Is he going to take this one? Yes, he is. 1:31.64, so nice improvement of a couple of seconds on his entry time.
That was a nice start for both these, for all three boys, all inside their entry time.
Confirmed there. So Scott Brodie second, Archie Redfern third. Second heat, full lineup: Duncan Curry, Aberdeen Performance in 0, Hamish Maxwell of South Ayrshire in 1, Michael Gavin of Aberdeen Performance in 2, Harshan Mayer of Aberdeen in 3, Alex Cantley of South Aberdeenshire in 4, Kai Wen Duan of Aberdeen in 5, Ruben Lees of Warrender in 6, Ryan Crabb of Ren 96 in 7, Kenneth Traynor of South Lanarkshire in 8, and Aaron Drake of Warrender in lane 9. Good starts over on the far side. Lane 0, Duncan Curry going well. Lane 4 is Alex Cantley of South Aberdeenshire. And lane 5, Kaiwan Dwan of Aberdeen. So the Aberdeenshire teams there or thereabouts here. I think it is going to be Duncan. Leads from lane 0. Although his time very slow coming up there, 41.81 actually shows him in second place. It didn't look that way, but maybe very soft hands on the wall as he touched with his hands, because he certainly looks to have the advantage here coming down the second length from the swimmers in the centre lanes. Alex in 4, Kai Wen in 5. Just behind them in lane 7, Ryan Crabb of Ren 96. So trying to break up this northern dominance. But Duncan Curry will be wanting to see this through from lane 0, and he's going to do that pretty comfortably here. So it is going to be lane 0 victory, 1:28.65. Nicely done, Duncan. 5 seconds inside his entry time.
Nice swim out from the outside lane as well. Take that. So we move on to our third heat. Let's wait for that to be confirmed. There we have it. So our third heat in 0, Cameron Jolly, Aberdeen Performance in 1, George Zubinowski from Stranraer Stingrays, 2, Riley Griffin, North Lanarkshire, 3, Stefan Nustax from Stranraer Stingrays, 4, Archie MacDonald, Putteridge, 5, Archie Lorimer, Clitheroe, 6, Fergus Reid, Geary, 7, Guy Fern, Aberdeen Dolphins, 8, Taylor Coots from Shetland, and 9, Lyndon Fuerte from Montrose. So the two fastest in this one, both from south of Border, Putteridge and Clitheroe. Off to a good start in lane 8, Taylor Coots from Shetland. And over in lane 2 coming through, Riley Griffiths from North Lanarkshire, Stefan Mustax in 2, and the yellow cap of Geary, Fergus Reid in 6. Advantage with Tyler, 40.001. There's a second advantage over Fergus Reid. Still going nicely in lane 2, Early Griffin. In a moment, Tyler Coots. There's a nice advantage. Still making headway in lane 2, Early Griffin. Fergus Reid. Stefan Nustak's Stranraer swimmer with a late charge maybe to get into second place. He's only 12 and doing well, but at the moment it's still the advantage over on this side. Tyler Coots, Stefan Nustak's, and in lane 6, Kai Fern. 1:26.04 for Tyler, and another 10 metres, maybe Stephens would have caught him. Finished very strongly indeed.
Yep, Shetland versus Stranraer. Can't get more extreme than that.
Excuse me.
Heat number 4. We have Joe Carty of City Glasgow in 0, Finlay Bennett, South Lanarkshire in 1, Joe Jimmerson of South Ayrshire in 2, Ross Hutchinson of Montefieth in 3, 4 is Aaron Elric of South Aberdeenshire, 5 George Hodgkinson of Aberdeen Performance, 6 Jimmy Lynn of Scotia, 7 Finch Geary of Step Rock, 8 Lachlan Small of Stirling Swim, and 9 Noah Lucatelli of Warrender. 125s to 127s the range of times here. So you think they'll be inside the 126.04 we've just seen from Tyler Coots.
Hopefully some of them can get close to the 122-ish mark in this.
Yeah, good start from lane 3. Ross Hutchinson of Montefieth. Talking about Montefieth quite a bit today, it seems.
We have, Duncan. It's a nice area of the country.
Lane 8, Lachlan Small. Been talking about him as well. Stirling swimmer. And he's looking really good in lane 8. Comprehensive lead at the halfway mark, 36.81. That's over 3 seconds faster than the previous heat, and over a second faster than Ross Hutchinson in lane 3. So this is the Lachlan Small show. Stirling swimmer completely bossing it. 1:27.30 his entry time. I think he is going to take chunks off that. It is still Ross in second place, and then in lane 1, Finlay Bennett of South Lanarkshire in lane 1. So spread across the pool, and it's going to be the swimmer in lane 8, Lachlan Small, who's going to bring this one in. And stops the clock. Oh, he gets under the 120. Very well done, Lachlan. Nice stuff. Entered on 1:27.30. Does a 1:19.93. Shouldn't be allowed, should it?
Certainly shouldn't. It's a cracking swim. Did it all on his own.
So well done to him. Ross Hutchinson second, and Finlay Bennett third. Just wait for confirmation of that. There it is.
Yeah, even Ross Hutchinson taking almost 6 seconds off his time.
Finlay as well. Good time from him.
So on to next heat, heat 5. 0 Lewis Lothian from East Lothian. 5 Caleb Simpson. Montrose. 2 Craig Shaw, South Lanarkshire. 3 Dean Bergatti, South Lanarkshire. 4 Corey Phillip, Dundee City Aquatics. 5 Callum MacArthur, Mulgine Bearsden. 6 Taylor Hutton, Incas. 7 Fraser Dow, Perth City. 8 Oscar Chermside, Geary, and 9 Fraser van der Meulen, Stirling Swim. Of course, that should be Montrose Seals, Duncan. Just Montrose. And going well in lane 2, Craig Shaw from South Lanarkshire. Also well up there, Corey Phillip, the pink cap, very distinctive Dundee City Aquatics. Callum MacArthur, Mulgine Bearsden. That's the leading 3 at halfway. Corey possibly from Craig. And 500s in it, Callum MacArthur, 36.19. And let's another fast one. And of course, this one of the seeded heats. So all the action should be in the middle lanes. Corey Phillip just beginning to pull away from Callum MacArthur. Taylor Hutton from Incas coming through strongly. He's still with them is Craig Shaw from South Lanarkshire. It's Corey Phillip, Craig Shaw, and it may well be Taylor Hutton who's going to get into third place. Might even get second. Corey Phillip takes this one. Very close for second. Corey Phillip, South Lanarkshire lad. Craig Shaw just hangs on for second from Taylor Hutton. 1:17.52, Craig Shaw. 1:18.59, Taylor Hutton. 1:18.86. Good race there for the minor places, Duncan.
Yeah, it's going to be tight, I think. There are a few 13-year-olds in that one as well. Just looking at them, I think the best of them, Fraser Dow, 1:20.28.
Most of these boys will be vying for a place in the final, so you have to go for it. No second chances.
So on to heat number 6, we've got Andrew Brackenridge, North Lanarkshire in 0, then a couple of Warrender swimmers, Ethan George in 1, Dylan Mitchell in 2, Sam Cool goes for Step Rock in 3, Gregor Ross, City of Glasgow in 4, Lewis Gibson of North Ayrshire in 5, Aidan McCavish of First in 6, Aidan Bruce of Aberdeen in 7, Aaron Machin of City of Glasgow in 8, and his colleague Kyle Connolly goes in lane 9. So 13-year-old Dylan Mitchell, very strong breaststroke. I expect good things from him from a 14-year-old perspective. And the 14s, it's Gregor Ross and Lewis Gibson in the middle, and in particular Gregor, who is really taking this one out hard. 33.92, so that's more than 2 seconds faster than we saw in the previous heat, and about a second and a half clear of Lewis Gibson. And Aidan Bruce another 8/10 back in lane number 7. But this is all about Gregor Ross here. Gregor, West District Short Course Age Group Champion, second in last year's Festival of Swimming, and he is setting the standard for the one heat that is still to come. It's going to be Lewis Gibson clear in second. It's anyone's race between about 4 swimmers for third. Here comes Gregor and takes it in 1:14.23, just outside his entry time, but nice heat swim. Second, Lewis Gibson 1:17.07, and Dylan Mitchell will be the leading 13-year-old, I'm pretty sure, with that time 1:18.58, inside his entry time by just over half a second.
Now, you did say you expected some good things from Dylan in that heat, and he did pretty well. Duncan finishing third with a late run. Final heat in 0, Declan Kay, East Lothian 1, Johnny Martin, Kinross 2, Cameron Hastings, Aberdeen Performance 3, Connor Christophorus from Aberdeen Dolphins 4, Josh Elliott, Adam Midlothian 5, Torben Rowan from Dubai 6, Tony Bullock, Midlothian 7, Alexander McGregor, Perth City 7, Callum Stewart from the Highland Swim Team, and in 9, Cammy McMillan, Renfrew Baths. Now, strong start in the middle lanes, Josh Elliott from Hearts going well, and Torben Rowan from Dubai, Connor Christophorus in lane 3 also well there. At the moment going very much to seed 33.38. Now that's even faster than the previous heat. And that swimmer means business here, pushing on. Urban Rowan here in second, and Connor Christophorus, Aberdeen Dolphins. It's going to be the 1, 2, 3. I don't think we can get too more excited than that, Duncan. As Josh Elliott comes in pretty comfortably and a cracking time, 1:10.83, 1:11.34. So just a little bit slower as Gregor was in the previous heat in his entry time. Torben 1:15.55 and Connor 1:17.06. That concludes our breaststroke.
So Josh and Torben silver and bronze last night, and they'll be looking to improve on that tonight, particularly Josh with that 1:11, some 3 seconds faster than anybody else. He'll be looking for nothing less than gold tonight, I'm sure. So from 100 breaststroke, we go back to the girls, and it's 200 butterfly. Just the 3 heats here. Just counting the number of 13-year-olds, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So barring DQs, they'll all go through. We had that same thing with the boys yesterday, and we unfortunately did get a DQ yesterday, and so we really don't want to see that this afternoon. So just do your stuff, don't do anything silly, and progress through to tonight.
Indeed, 7 became 6, unfortunately, because of that. Interesting that they split the heats into 3 heats of 8. Most unusual. Normally we would get a heat of 4 and 2 heats of 10.
Well, that's quite a nice way to do it, I think.
It is
Evens it
actually.
up.
But I think that's all comes down to seeding.
I think it's because they're in the cycle seeding heats.
Yes,
I think
and
that's why they do it.
Because we have to have three heats. If there is more than 20 swimmers, then they've got to make the heats even, and that's how they've done it. So if you're wondering, we've come up with the right answer, Duncan. Eva Marco in 1 from East Lothian, 2 Leah Rafferty, Western Bartonshire, 3 Rosie Heaps, Faulthouse Penguins, 4 off to a good start, Madison Cool from Bucky, who is the fastest in this, 5 Ellen Denny from Geary, 6 Macy Carty, another one from Faulthouse Penguins, 7 Poppy Shaw from Best, and 8 Lisa Thompson, North Lanarkshire swim team. And we've almost got the normal arrow formation. Just Leah Rafferty needs to pick up about 5 or 6 metres and get herself behind Rosie Heaps and between Eva Marco. Going really nicely, Madison Cool, Rosie Heaps and Ellen Denny. That's how it should be, 32.56 at the first 50.
It's a good solid first half from Madison, the Buckley swimmer, and she goes through halfway. North District age group champion, that's where she did her 2:34.89 entry time, and well, going nicely here, 1:11.76 at the halfway mark, so on track for a good PB here. She is one of the 14-year-olds, so of course they do have to compete for spots in the 10 lanes that are available to them. Similarly then, Rosie Heaps in lane 3 and in lane 5 Ellen Denny. These 3 are a long way clear of the others, so certainly vying for their spots. Now the cameraman got seriously splashed when he tried that this morning, but with these younger swimmers he's got a better chance of staying dry. I think he probably just about did there. 54.46 with 50 to go.
And those first 3 swimmers all just under 2 minutes, so we'll keep an eye on that. That will probably guarantee the first 3 from this getting into the final, even the top 10. And well clear is Madison Cool, an entry time of 2:34.89. Coming in pretty much on that entry time. Just a little bit over it, 2:36.42. Rosie Heaps from Faulthouse Penguins. I'm sure that will give her a second swim, and same for Ellen Denny, 2:48.16.
So certainly it was a pretty convincing win there for Madison.
Wondering if there is another swimmer still to come. There is indeed. It's the 13-year-old Eva Marco.
So I don't know what's happened with Eva, because she certainly wasn't that far back earlier, so whether she's going to have a problem with a DQ at the end, but she is one of the 13-year-olds, so we hope not.
Certainly hope not. She was lying, I think, 6th or 7th around the halfway mark. Well, fingers crossed nothing serious happened. We'll wait for that to be confirmed, Duncan.
No doubt about the leader, though. Winner there, Madison Cool, with an impressive swim, 2:36. Just away from her entry time, but certainly stating her case for good lane in the final. So there is a little bit of a hiatus here as we wait to see if that result is confirmed.
The Slovenian team will be keen to have Eva competing in the final, because if she has only that one potential swim, Duncan, 8th place will get East Lothian 3 valuable points, assuming that she gets the swim and finishes in 8th place in the final.
Just looking at her, something clearly happened, talking to her coach there, and she was very gingerish coming out of the pool, so I'm hoping she hasn't picked up an injury, but I suspect she maybe has. But she, time does stand, so if she's fit enough, she will be there. That's the lineup for heat number 2. Isla Kay of South Aberdeenshire in 1, Emma Miller of Kintyre in 2, Freya Beaton, City of Glasgow in 3, Coco Croxford, City of Glasgow in 4, Phoebe Arbuckle of Warrender in 5, Alice Cumming of City of Glasgow in 6, Beth Kelly of Warrender in 7, and Ciara Finlayson of City of Glasgow in 8. Well, Coco Croxford and Phoebe Arbuckle went head-to-head in the freestyle, and it was Phoebe who came out on top in that one, but this time it is in the fly Coco Croxford who is setting a pretty fast pace here. She was junior finalist at the Edinburgh International, winner of the Festival of Swimming last year here up in Scotland. 32.27 is 3/10 faster than Madison Split from the first heat, and she's really setting it out, nearly 3 seconds clear of the threesome behind her. Can't really see past Coco in this one, can you, Robert?
Not really. And, can't see even Freya Beaton, who was a useful butterfly swimmer a couple of years back, still is. But can't even see Freya Beaton get anywhere near her. This looks pretty cut and dried, even at halfway.
13-year-olds in this one are the two on the near side. You can see just coming in there, Beth Kelly in the red, and just ahead of her, Ciara Finlayson, the blue, City of Glasgow. So again, they just need a nice clean race to see them through to the final. But these two Glasgow girls, Coco and Freya, dominating things. Just out of your shot will be 3rd and 4th place Phoebe Arbuckle and Alice Cumming there. You can see Phoebe coming into your shot, and you just see it's a bit of splash going on beside her. And there you are, you have the Alice Cumming there, so you can see the relative gaps between the fields as they go through 1:51.53 at the 150. So that is best part of 3 seconds faster than Madison Cool Split, so looking good for Coco Croxford for centre lane in the final tonight.
First 3 at the 150 mark were just under the 2-minute mark, which was the same position the previous heat, so they're probably comfortable to get a swim. The big question is Alice Cumming, if she ends up 4th, will her time be good enough maybe to get an outside lane? Because she's dropped back a little bit further, Duncan, in 4th place. 2:34.26 for Coco. Freya Beaton 2:39.29. Phoebe Arbuckle 2:43.03. Now Alice Cumming 2:47.36. Now that puts her,
I think at the moment about 7th.
maybe in the borderline position.
Yeah. In this last race, we've got quite a few in the 11 to 13 age groups, 5 of the 8, so just 3 14-year-olds. So on that basis, I think Alice Cumming will get in the final, because there's only 3 swimmers who could beat her.
Indeed.
Swim.
Yeah. It's the way that the times are. More 14-year-olds took part in that second heat than the final one.
The line up here. Kalila Smith, Aberdeen Dolphin in 1. Evie Mackey of South Lanarkshire in 2. Kristen Mackay of Warrender in 3. Kiana Kurtzer of Warrender in 4. Zara Kravis of East Lothian in 5. Emmy Aitken of Aberdeen Performance in 6. Mirren McConnell of Inverclyde in 7. And Caris Geddes of Lerwick in lane 8. So just the 3 14-year-olds, 5 in the 11 to 13 age group. So we'll go through the 14-year-olds, and they are Kristen Mackay and Kiana Kurtzer, the 2 Warrender girls, and Mirren McConnell of Inverclyde. Once again, we're seeing Kiana Kurtzer leading the way, as we so often do. She does have the fastest entry time, 2:29.59. Actually, Coco beat her in the Edinburgh International. In the junior final, Coco was 6th and Kiana was 7th, so that could make it quite interesting, I think, tonight. The two could be pretty well matched, but not in this heat. Kiana is dominant. She was a little slower than Coco at the 50, 1:11.98 at halfway, and leads by a bit over 3 seconds from her teammate Kristen Mackay, who has swimmers not too far behind her.
Evie Mackey going quite nicely in lane number 2, Duncan. It's just shading Zara Kravis, the 2 13-year-olds.
So that could be a dress rehearsal for the 11 to 13 final tonight. These two look very well matched. As we saw Stefan Kravis coming with a storming comeback in the 200 butterfly yesterday when he looked out of it from Scott Fleming, and then he steamed past him down the final 50.
So we could have a South Lanarkshire East Lothian battle again this evening. Be an interesting one.
At 1:53.62, so not as fast as Coco. But Kiana's probably had the heavier schedule this afternoon.
Indeed.
So I don't think we can read too much into that for tonight, other than the fact that it's likely that Coco will have lane 4 and Kiana will have lane 5. We'll get confirmation of that pretty much now. 2:33.25. So, well, she was pretty fast down that last length, because in fact she's faster than Coco, having been a lot slower there and there. Look at that finish for 2nd.
Yeah, Evie Mackey determined to get there. That's going to be an interesting one, Evie Mackey and Zara Kravis in the younger age group.
Yeah, so they're going to be in lanes 4 and 5 battling together as they were there. And this time, I think you could say, this time it's serious. So 2:33.25 then, the winning time. That does give Kiana lane 4 in the 14-year-old final, assuming that that result is confirmed. In fact, we do have a disqualification, but it's not Kiana, it's Kristen Mackay in lane 3.
That will help one of the 14-year-olds in that position. They will now get a swim because of that.
So confirmation there, Evie Mackey, Zara Kravis 2nd and 3rd, Emmy Aitken in 4th, and the full lineup there. So the 9 swimmers, the 13-year-olds, 11 to 13-year-olds, all progress through to the finals. The ones who are going to miss out, and the 14-year-olds, well, there's going to be 2 reserves, Ida Kay and Emma Miller, and then Poppy Shaw and Mira McConnell, as well as obviously Kristen Mackay being disqualified. They're the ones who are going to miss out. So everyone else, you're in.
You just wonder whether she maybe came under a little bit pressure for that 2nd place, and didn't realise that these girls are 13. Lack of racing experience, perhaps, Duncan. You just don't know whether that might have been a bad turn at the final turn. We don't know.
No, we don't. So we're on to 1500 freestyle. So here's a question for you as a referee. So we talked about those 3 lanes of 8 in cycle seeding, but here in the heat declared winner we're going 3 and 10. So why aren't we going 6 and 7?
Reason being that the minimum that you can have in a race is 3. So if we have 13 entered, we go 10 and 3. Had it been 12 swimmers, we would have gone 9 and 3.
But if it had been a heats and finals, we'd have gone 6 and 7.
Indeed, if it had been 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds, and there were 6 and 7 in those respective age groups, yes, indeed.
Anyway, for what that's worth, it is 3 swimming in this first heat. Adam Selby of Finns in lane 3, Fraser Gemmell of first in 4, and Cooper Sloss of North Ayrshire in 5. So it's Fraser Gemmell setting off at pace here. 1:10.70 for him. A lead of over 4.5 seconds early on. Fraser from first. 13-year-old winner of the West District Pre-Stags meet. Probably one of the relatively few swimmers who will have been able to swim this long course. There's a few others who we'll see earlier on. Certainly the ones from the east haven't had a long course opportunity. And the north, I suppose, have. I think they had a 1500 in their age group competition.
I'll come back to you on 13 and 14-year-olds, Duncan. It might, given that we do only have 13 swimmers, is this something we should be advocating at Snags, that we split it and have one heat with one age group and one heat with the other when we could do that? It's sort of similar to Easter strips, because I think that's what you do with heat declared, that you take, if you've got 14 swimmers in one age group, the bottom 6 will just swim in with the mix, but the top 8 will swim as a fastest heat.
Yep, that is exactly what we do. I don't know what the rules are as far as FINA are concerned on that, but that's what we do in the East. Anyway, leading here is Fraser Gemmell. That was about a 1:19.5 for his second 100. And he is looking in good shape, and it's very much going to be him versus the clock, I think, now. He's well clear, and I think our cameraman is going to have one swimmer in shot most of the time through the rest of this race, apart from when they cross each other, going in different directions. So 3:09.75. The other two pretty well matched, as you can see there.
Indeed. Yeah. Coming back on having 2 heats, some coaches, probably a lot of coaches would argue that they'd rather have their younger swimmers swimming against the older swimmers, the 13-year-olds or 12-year-olds swimming against the 14-year-olds, because they'll be pushed on and maybe swim even faster. So that's a very valid argument. There's two schools of thought, and whether one's right or wrong is by the by. This is what we do.
Yeah, I suppose it depends a little bit about the strength and depth that you've got, because you don't really want a very unequal race. And, so if you've got the fastest 10, 13-year-olds, say, if there were 10, 13-year-olds in this 1500, for instance, and they were swimming all together with a range maybe of 2 to 3 minutes, whereas if they were bunched with the fastest 14-year-olds, there might be a range of just 1 minute. So yep. There is definitely an argument there, particularly in the longer races. That probably doesn't apply so much in the sprints, where there's going to be much less of a range, and probably also more swimmers entering in the first place, so more competitive at the front of each age group. But let us know what you think. Always give thoughts to the organising group, see if they want to do anything differently, but for now we are going these 3, followed by the fastest 10. And looking at that fastest 10, I think there's 4 in the 11 to 13s and 6 in the 14s.
Yeah, you'd really fancy our medalists to come in the final heat. I know that Fraser's just got to swim his race. He's gone 400 in 5:12.56.
Pace just dropped a little bit there. He had been around the 120s for his previous 200s, and that was about a high 121. Getting good support. First team have been providing great support to all of their swimmers throughout the 3 days so far. We've had the drums, we've had the horns, we've had the people with the pom-poms walking up and down the pool as they are now, giving the encouragement to their swimmers, and Fraser taking encouragement from that.
Well, he does seem to be able to pick things up swimming downhill, Duncan, a 39.
Yeah, if you weren't listening to us this morning during the 1500s, keep an eye on the intermediate splits. So that was a 39.68 from Fraser going down towards the scoreboard end. But when he comes back, it always seems to be slower. So just keep an eye and see whether it is slower here. Certainly that was true for the older swimmers this morning. It was true of the girls on Wednesday as well. Let's see if it's true of the youngsters here. So Fraser, 6:33.52.
Well, significantly slower, 41.28.
So he's got it down to almost exactly a 121 there. So that was slightly faster 100 than his previous one. There go
There's the pom-poms.
pom-pom team, yep. So they're putting in the steps up and down the pool to keep Fraser on task. See, he's breathing in their direction, so you'll see them every time he breathes. See the kelp is on the cap there.
Again, another sub-40.
7:13.21 at 5:15. And you see there, so that was 15 markers, so nearly 30 meters between Fraser and the other two. Cooper looked to be just ahead of Adam there as we got that fleeting view of them. Tony just looking at the scoreboard here in venue that there's just over a second between them. So a good race going on there, out of shot at the 600 mark. See if we can stick with that 121, 7:54.18. Yes, we can, in fact, slightly faster. So that's good.
Some faster uphill on that last one than the previous one, a 40.97 or 41, whatever it was, 28.
He's looking pretty calm and relaxed, isn't he? There's no great leg action going. It's just just gentle beats to keep him buoyant, and the arms doing the work, and nice smooth stroke.
It's all very steady.
Yeah. See number 17 showing there. Number of lengths still to go.
A low 39. We'll probably get a high 40 at the other end.
Still in the first half of this race, of course, coming up to 700 meters. So another 121 would take us to 9:15-ish. And right on track for that, 9:14.84. So he is slightly under 121 there, about 120.6 or thereabouts. So going very steadily here against the clock. We're looking at possible time around the 20-minute mark here. So entered on 2019. He'd love to go under the 20 minutes. He's certainly got a good shout of doing that. But he needs to keep this pace going if he's to do that. Can't slip in the second half. So that's the halfway mark, 9:55.22.
It's also the slowest downhill pace he's done for a while, 40.38. Sub-40s the last few. So this is where, as you say, he has to try and just keep things going. He's just gone past halfway. The next 200 or 300 meters key to just making sure it's still pacing round about the 121 mark.
So 10:35.50. So
Well,
he is.
That was a much better upward swim, 40.28.
Maybe this is a complete myth. It's just the way that they're going. Maybe just people like swimming down to see the scoreboard.
They might do that. We'll see if he can do a sub 40 in this one in a moment. As they come inside 11:15.50. Oh, it's well under 39.29.
So we'll just catch a shot of the other two coming down the pool as Fraser comes to meet them, and you can see that the gap has increased a little bit. It's still Cooper leading Adam. The gap is now about 3.4 or thereabouts, so we'll just keep track on that as we get the views of the two of them going the other direction. Of course, Fraser might be lapping them before we know it. 11:55.69. He's picking up the pace there, so that was back down to a 120, just over. So this is good from Fraser. If he can start to work the pace up now and open it up, then that's looking very promising for him.
Just keep sub 40s down the way and maybe sub 41s up the way.
So next time he's down here, you'll see that lap card in single figures. That's always a good feeling. And that was slower.
Yeah, he dropped back a bit, 40.68. Just needs to up it a little bit again.
So this is where perhaps it does start to get tough.
Yeah. This is the hard part. You've gone almost 2/3. The next 200 or 300, try and keep it and build it if you can. But, if it's hurting, it's hurting. You just want to get over that barrier.
So ideally you'd be likely to see him at about 13.15, 13.16 here, but he's going to be a bit
Indeed.
slower than that. 13.18.
Well, that's the first really slow swim back up the other end, 42 dead. And you just looking at Fraser, it looks as though the rhythm's sort of gone a little bit.
He's changed his breathing, hasn't
Yeah.
he? So he's now bilateral breathing, and see there's two on the right hand side. There's the two, and then over to the other side. Two, so breathing pretty much every stroke, isn't he?
Yeah, every other stroke, and kind of get the feeling that it's beginning to hurt a little bit this last 100 meters or so, 40.58.
So feeling the need for the oxygen intake. But still, well, the stroke is holding together. It's still nice positioning in the pool. Start a little bit from the legs just to keep things all straight. So let's see if he can dig in here and keep this going. 14.39.65.
Well, that wasn't bad.
So back to the 121s. So if he can hold that, then he's in good shape.
At least when he comes down, he'll see the 7 marker. He'll know that he's only got a few more turns to do. Still in the high 40s.
So again, let's have another look at Cooper and Adam as Fraser comes down to meet them. There's Cooper, and you see the gap a bit wider now to Adam. So it was about 5.5 seconds last time they touched. Fraser's not going to lap them, I'm pretty sure about that. But he is continuing to get away from them. He's nearly a length ahead. They were turning just before he turned.
And you kind of fear that the 20 minutes might just slip by him a little bit. This main bit that he's got to try and focus, get back on track again, get towards those 40s, maybe 41s up the way for the next 100 or so. Legs just beginning to kick in a little bit more. Well, that's better, 39.91. They've just got his second wind. Try and build for the last 200 or so to give him a reasonable chance to get under 20 minutes. As you see, Cooper and Adam still separated by about 5 or 6 seconds. In fact, it's just gone over 6 seconds. Fraser Gemmell, 200 to go. Just a little over 71 in that one.
Yeah, so it looks pretty sure that he's not going to make 20 minutes now. We're looking maybe more like 20:10, something like that, I think. Entered 2019, so he's almost certainly going to be inside that. So this is a good gutsy swim. Of course, doing it on your own like this isn't easy at all. It's all about you and the clock and concentrating across 20 minutes of swimming, and for the youngsters that is hard, just to keep that focus all the way through. You can't start thinking about anything else. What schoolwork I've got to do, what's for tea, anything like that. Am I going to be on the podium? Nope. Keep it all out of your mind. Just focus on that stroke, the tempo, and the execution. So
now if you can find something extra special, there's a slim chance of getting under 20 minutes, something like 1:16. In fact, he's got to go sub 1:15. So I think something like 20:04 perhaps, Duncan.
yeah, let's see what sort of sprint he can muster. So that was back to the 121, so that was good that he managed that. And if he can do another 121, it would be 20:06 or thereabouts. But then, as you say, he can muster a sprint when I imagine he'll go to the legs down the final length. So
Not much leg kick at the moment, maybe keeping that in reserve.
you can hear the bell going for Cooper Sloss at the other end of the pool. And shortly it'll be going for Adam Selby. But here it is, and you see that stroke rate's increased. The legs are starting to work hard now.
So half a chance of maybe getting around the 20:03.
He's picked up a lot of pace here.
He has.
So this is a really good effort at the end of this. You can see just going over the 20 minutes, but not by much at all. So well done, Fraser Gemmell, 20:02.75. Storming swim there, and a really good last 50. in particular. Here is Cooper. So he's coming down his final length now. So Cooper entered 20:51. I don't think he could get inside that, can he?
I think he can, Duncan, by about 4 seconds.
So here we go, 15 to go. And maybe not quite so much leg action from him as he comes in. It is working it a bit, but well, let's see what his time is. 20:45.70, so about a 6-second improvement there. So well done. And Adam Selby entered 21:09. Yeah, I think he'll be inside that too.
Looks like it. Excellent. Well done for everyone. That's nice to see, having to do it all on their own. That clock in their head ticking over. So a good 3 PBs from all the lads.
And now we get to do it all again. This time we've got 10 swimmers though. Sam Cooler, step rock in 0. Eamon Jaridi goes for Royal Wolverhampton School in 1. Callum Ferguson of South Lanarkshire in 2. Ross Anderton of East Lothian in 3. Oscar Churnside of Geary in 4. Matthew Soares goes for Wigan Best in 5. Connor Aspinall of East Lothian in 6. Tom Jeffords of Ren 96 in 7. Archie MacArthur of Inverclyde in 8. And Aaron Machin of City of Glasgow in 9. So in this one, it's nearly the 14-year-olds on the far side and the 13-year-olds on the near side. The exception is Tom Jeffords in lane 7, the 14-year-old. So there are 6 14-year-olds, 4 13-year-olds. All the first heat were 13-year-olds, so that 20:02.75 is the time for the 13-year-olds to beat, and the 14-year-olds, it's win the heat, you've got a gold medal.
And absolutely delighted to see this, Duncan. In lane 8, Archie MacArthur, 13-year-old, he's just swam a 50 free. We're going to total extreme, 1500 free. So it can be done, everyone. Don't be shy. Try long distance as well as the sprints. Also try 200 butterfly. It's one that we could do with more swimmers taking part in, both boys and girls. I'm plugging this. This is the commercial for late afternoon, if you're with us. I just like to see these distance events populated a little bit more, Duncan. I'm also a bit of a masochist. I love to see them do butterfly.
So it's Oscar Churnside and Ross Anderton, and also lane 1, Eamon Jaridi taking this one out. Oscar just with a touch, 1:04.80, as you would expect, faster than the first heat by around 6 seconds. Oscar Jaridi going, sorry, Eamon Jaridi, I'm mixing up my Oscars and my Eamons. Eamon Jaridi in lane 1, looking strong here. He entered on 19:13, but he did an 18:24 recently at the Nova Centurion meet, so expect him to be quite a bit faster than his entry time. And he's at the moment the one who's providing the competition for Oscar. Don't have any 1500 form for the Geary swimmer. Don't think he swam it at North District age groups, and that would have been the only opportunity probably he's had. But he's going pretty nicely here. Ross Anderton in 3rd place. He's had a couple of bronze medals so far. Then we've got the 13-year-olds on the near side, and it looks like it's Matthew Soares leading them in lane 5 from Connor Aspinall. In lane 6, well, 3 meters or so between them. 2:15.6 at the 200, so just shy of 1:11 pace, just under that.
Matthew Soares, as you say, Duncan, Connor Aspinall. Got a couple of seconds between the two at the moment.
Matthew Soares, in fact, just edging past Ross Anderton to get into third in the race. And he is pushing on hard. Matthew, Lancashire County champion. That's a pretty competitive county championships. Lancashire's so strong. So many good clubs in Lancashire. They always do well in the county championships, up there at the top or near it. 3:26.97, just over 1:11 that time for Oscar. His lead a couple of seconds now over Eamon. Matthew Soares now a second ahead of Ross Anderton. And Ross Anderton has another threat, Callum Ferguson on his right-hand side. So still currently sitting in the bronze medal position for the 14-year-olds, but has a swimmer breathing down his neck that he'll be very aware of.
And Conor Aspinall actually a little bit slower down that last 50, and he was going in the opposite direction, and Matthew Sawyers takes over a second more advantage in the 30-year category. And you can see that black cap in lane 5, well clear. Tom Jefferson 7 and Archie MacArthur in 8, also well there. So Conor Aspinall and Archie MacArthur almost together, separated by 1800ths.
So that's another medal contending contest there for silver and bronze in the 11 to 13s. As you can see there in 6, just to the left of the yellow rope, and then beside him Jeffords, who's the 14, and then MacArthur in the white cap, who is 13. Thumbs up from the Geary coach there, obviously liking what Oscar Churnside is doing here in terms of his pacing, getting the strategy right clearly.
Even at this early stage, Duncan, we've gone third of the race. Oscar, you could almost say it's Oscar Churnside's race to lose. Matthew Sawyers, likewise, in the younger age group category, is well clear. Substantially more clear in that age group than Oscar is.
Yes, so Oscar has the lead over Eamon Jaridi of about 5 seconds. Matthew Sawyers, the 5:59 at that last turn against Conor Aspinall and Archie MacArthur, in fact.
6-7 seconds further back. And we got around 6 seconds between first and second and the 14-year-olds, Oscar and Eamon. And at the turn, Matthew Sawyers 6:35.92. Archie MacArthur turning 6:44.50. So we're getting on for almost 10 seconds in that one.
So just over the 7 minutes at 600. 7:03.45. The race you can see there, just coming in on the right of your screen there, that's the race for the bronze in the 14 age group, and it's Callum Ferguson, I think, has just got the edge now on Ross Anderton by 1/4 of a second. So with them side by side, that's going to be a good contest, I think, through this race.
It makes you wonder whether Matthew Sawyers can find a little bit to maybe get overall into second place. And just have a look at the gap here. Matthew 36.83, 36.87 that last 50, so level pace there. He's virtually 2 seconds back in third place behind Eamon.
Just keeping an eye on Oscar Chernside's pacing, because his last 100 was a bit slower than his previous one. So let's see what he is on this one, 8:15.40. So that is more or less an 1:12. So that's a bit faster, in fact, than he did in his previous one. So I'm settling it down. Sharidi, 8:23, so 8 seconds back. But we're looking at pacing of around about 17:50 for Oscar. Entered 17:56, so pacing inside that. As I mentioned, Eamon Sharidi with an 18:24 recently. So at the moment, if he can stay just a few seconds behind Oscar, he will improve on that. Say a few seconds, I mean the gap is extending to such an extent that we can't see Eamon in the shot at the moment. He's in the lane one, probably just out of the shot. Probably see him when Oscar turns. There you can see him now coming through. Up the top of your screen. 9:27.37, so again just about a 1:12. That was pretty much identical to his previous 100.
We'd see in 7 and 8 Tom Jeffers, Archie MacArthur, but further back in lane 6 Conor Aspinall's dropped right off the pace. Well back in third now in that 13-year-old and under category, so it very much looks like Archie MacArthur comfortably placed for second place behind Matthew Sawyers.
So East Lothian swimmers losing their head-to-head battles at the moment, because Ross Anderson is also behind Callum Ferguson now. You can see there Callum has opened up quite a gap on Ross, and that is the battle for the bronze medal in the 14-year-olds. So yeah, East Lothian got some work to do. They're younger swimmers. Of course, this is a big learning experience for all these younger swimmers. First National Age Group Championships for them all, and they have to learn how to pace. They'll have never been to a 5-day meet before, and it's tough to sustain your performances over such a long meet, and something they're going to have to learn how to do as their swimming career progresses. 1:12 again, just under a 1:12 that time, so Oscar really now has settled into a nice groove on those 1:12s.
Give you an idea of the gap between Callum and Ross at the 900 metre mark. It's getting on for 4.5 seconds. Similarly, Archie MacArthur turning in 11:06.73. Conor Aspinall 11:20.53. So that's almost 14 seconds. That's a massive gap with 60% of the race gone. So it very much looks like Conor Aspinall will have to settle for bronze at best in the younger age group. It's a question of whether Ross Anderson can find something in the older age group to try and get back into third place.
So let's see what Oscar's split is at the 1,000 metres. 11:51.35. So again, right on that 1:12. So it's quite easy maths, in fact, because you multiply 1:12 by 5, you get 6 minutes.
Indeed. 17:51. I think if that's the maths right, Duncan.
Yep, I think so. I said multiply by 5, you get 5 minutes, you get 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Did I say 5? I think I did.
No, I think you said 6.
Okay.
I'll
Give me the benefit of the doubt. So anyway, we're looking at maybe 17:50-ish, perhaps a little under if he can muster a sprint against his 17:56 entry time.
Someone will tell us, having listened to YouTube, that it was actually 6 minutes and not 5. I'm sure it was 6 minutes, Duncan. So it looks as though he's maybe just picking the pace up here, Duncan. looks still pretty strong. Should be a turning in 13:03. Thank you, Oscar. 13:03, a little bit slower there, just a smidgen over the 72. And, again, we'll keep an eye on the gap between Callum and Ross. It's coming up to the turn. Callum Ferguson and Ross Anderton at 1100. 13:32.64, and Ross Anderton 13:37.69. So 5 seconds. If anything, it's maybe crept up just half a second in the last couple of 100 meters.
So you can see the gap there between those two, Callum and Ross, just as we saw Oscar coming down, looking like he's about to lap Sam Cool in lane 0. So Oscar through 1200 in 14:15.84, again just over the 112. Still, I think, on track for something around that 17:50 mark.
Archie MacArthur in that white cap that disappeared by, going very, very nicely indeed. Opened up the best part of 25 seconds over Conor Aspinall. I think I'll be quite glad to get this one done and dusted.
Not talked about Matthew Soares for a while in lane 5, so we'll see him in a moment. Crossing, there he goes. So he is comfortable 3rd overall in the race, but in a clear lead as far as the 11 to 13s are concerned. So the Wigan swimmer going very well there, and be interesting to see if he can improve on his 18:33 entry time. Just looking at his time there, 15:15 with 250 to go for him. You don't see too many of these intermediate splits coming up on our screen because they can only stay on that screen for so long, and by the time the second swimmer gets there, they've gone. So just really seeing Oscar's splits and his pacing in this one. You see there 35 for that last 50. 16:02.
So maybe about an 18:20-ish for Matthew Sawyers. That's what I like. What I suspect he's going to come in, improving by a good 10 seconds, 18:33.30. And you can see in your picture, fairly tired Conor Aspinall, but just keep going.
So Oscar takes the bell, 16:39.17, to pick up his pace a little bit there. Under the 112, down to about 111.5. So now he will be picking up. And we talked about this earlier, to have a swimmer that you can feed off, and that will, in this case, is Conor Aspinall, just to pace off and just give himself the incentive to move past him, which I think pretty sure he will do. Coming up to his last turn, with Conor still with 150 to go. And as we focus on him, going 35.2 there, and now really piling it on. See the huge breaths he's taking to keep the oxygen in the body.
He's gone past Conor Aspinall, and certainly going to get under 17:50 without any problems here.
So 15 to go, the clock just coming towards 17:40. So let's see, as he comes into the final 5, he's going to stop the clock, 17:48.31. So Nice swim there, entered on 17.56, so knocks 8 seconds off that, and he can now relax for a little bit. So we see the other swimmers coming. Here comes Eamon Jaridi in lane 1, so he comes in 18.06.01, so over a minute inside his entry time, and also well inside the time he did at Nova, which was 18.24, so big improvements, big strides being taken by Eamon.
Matthew Sawyers has finished, the time hasn't come up, but I think it's probably just a smidgen under 18.20. It is 19.55. Archie MacArthur, Callum Ferguson, looks as though he's got the bronze medal in the older category.
Yes, he has. And Tom Jeffords also got ahead of Ross Anderton, so he has to settle for 5th place. Here comes a weary Connor Aspinall, but still good for the bronze. 19.08, and that not at his entry time, so he'll be a bit disappointed with that. That's just pretty sure that was a short course conversion for Connor. He's not had the opportunity, I think, to do long course. So it's a different thing, really, isn't it? Swimming a 1500 long course compared with short course where you've got all those terms.
Indeed, Duncan.
Final swimmer, Aaron Machin, just 12 years old. 20.04 entry time. He's going to be around that, I think. It was 19.24 at his final turn, so if he comes it down in less than 40 seconds, he will improve on his entry time. Let's see if he does. Yes, he does. Oh, just over the 20.
Yeah.
Nice 4-second improvement for Aaron. But there is the confirmation of the result. So Oscar Churnside, Eamon Jaridi, and checking on 3rd place, that was
Callum Ferguson.
Callum Ferguson,
yeah,
thank you, yes.
Yeah.
And in the 11 to 13s, we're looking at Matthew Soares in 1st place. Archie MacArthur in 2nd. Connor Aspinall in 3rd. We'll get confirmation of that. That's how it looks to us.
I think that's the last one for this afternoon, Duncan. We have presentations.
We do
Just very shortly, as our officials get the bells, everything taken off poolside. They'll be put in a box along with the lap cards. Not sure whether they're back out tomorrow for an 800 or 1500, or they remain in the box until Sunday.
Yeah, I think we're done with the 1500s now, because we had the girls on Wednesday night, but we've still got the 800s. I don't think we've had any 800s yet, so I imagine we'll have one set tomorrow and one set on Sunday.
Yeah.
So, yep, we'll need them for that. Highlights for today: 25-12 Dean Fern, 50 freestyle. What about that?
Yes, yeah, very, very comfortable win indeed. Don't see having any trouble in this evening's final.
Josh Elliott looked good in the 100 breaststroke. He'll be looking to see off Gregor Ross and Corey Phillip in the final. And certainly on the form he was showing this afternoon, looks most likely that he will do that. Some of the highlights for me, and then that 1500, excellent swim from Oscar, excellent swim as well in the 13 age group, Matthew Soares, and a great swim from Eamon Jaridi, showing great progression in recent weeks in terms of times that he's taking off in swathes every time he swims a 1500 freestyle.
Of course, only three heats of butterfly, but look forward to seeing Evie Mackey against Zara Kravis this evening in the younger age group. Kiana Kirtzer and Coca Croxford will be up against one another again in the older age group, so that's something to cherish.
Yes, indeed. So they do need just a little bit of time to organise the swimmers.
So all these swimmers have just come out the pool. I'll need to just confirm the 1, 2, 3. Make sure that they don't wander off poolside. We have most of the swimmers getting ready.
I think they know who's got what, and we have got a confirmed result now, so we'll see them coming up very shortly. And here they come. And it's going to be Director of Aquatics, Ali Wyke, who will be making these presentations. So the bronze medalists, 11 to 13 age group, East Lothian's Connor Aspinall. And in the 14-year-olds, Callum Ferguson of South Lanarkshire. The silver medalists in the 11 to 13 years, in the Clyde's Archie MacArthur. And in the 14-year-olds from Royal Wolverhampton School, Eamon Jaridi. And our national age group champions, Matthew Soares in the 11 to 13 age group. Matthew is a Scot. He looks highly delighted with that. That's nice to see.
Yeah.
And the 14-year-old from Geary, Oscar Churnside. I really do think Geary get the prize for the smartest top.
Yeah.
That is a very smart top, Oscar. So, well done to all those swimmers. Excellent stuff. And we are now done for the afternoon. Next session, we'll be back in this evening's session, so we hope to see you then.
Yeah, back just in about an hour's time. So from Robert Taylor, Duncan McKinnell, thanks for joining us for session 8, and we look forward to seeing you soon on session 9.
Good afternoon.